My beautiful people, today is August the 28th. 3 more days, man, and we'll already be in September. You know what I'm saying? August the 28th, episode number 23 of Strategizing with Ghostwriter. If this is your first time here, I want to thank you guys for being here. As y'all come into the live stream, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you guys could come live every time we go live. And that's for you guys that are watching this content after it was pre-recorded as well. If you guys don't know, man, we on episode number 23. You know what I'm saying? We started this series on August the 2nd. Strategizing with Ghostwriter. Just completed the Tax the Rich tour. You know what I'm saying? Went from Peekskill, New York, about 50 miles north of New York City, all the way out to Long Island. You know what I'm saying? Delivering great content, I believe. You know what I'm saying? That was my goal, to try to deliver great content, to try to have great political discussions, man. That's what it's all about, man. For us as Americans to allow our voices to be heard. That is most important. That being said, man, where we at right now, we on the Strategizing with Ghost tour. I'm saying a tour, but not a tour, a series up here on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing the same thing, man. I'm trying to bring you guys great content. Just real quick before we jump off into the content, I just want to tell you guys about a new series we have. It's called Eating and Living New York. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I'm going to go to some nice eating spots in New York. You know, I'm going to go to a couple of games, maybe a Yankees game, go to some museums, you know, just do some different things to show the culture and the way people live in New York City. So that is Eating and Living New York. Episode number 1 is next Wednesday, so you guys look out for that. Other than that, man, we just to the content, man. We're going to jump straight off into it. You know what I'm saying? Guys, we have elections. I told y'all, we are 3 days from September the 1st. 3 days. 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? We have elections in November. It's unbelievable, guys. We're close to 60 days away from the midterm elections in 2026, and these elections, the stakes couldn't be higher. So consequential. I think that's where we need to start off this morning, or I'll say that's where I'm going to start off this morning. I'm going to talk about the election, and I'm going to talk about the stakes of the election, man, the high consequences. I'm saying we're looking at President Trump right now in his administration. I'm saying whether you support him or you don't support him, I think that's immaterial. I say this all the time. The Republicans and the Democrats, the way they fight and bicker, they remind me of the Bloods and the Crips. It's about the United States. It's about America. What's best for America? What's best for our nation right now is for us to end this war in Iran. That's the best thing for America. That's the best thing for Democrats. That's the best thing for Republicans. That's the best thing for progressives. That's the best thing for Israel. That's the best thing for the Middle East. It's the best thing for the world. There's only a few that can actually benefit from the United States fighting that war with Iran. We need to understand that. Like, look how high gas prices are. Look at inflation, man. We talking about beef. President Trump is in Texas. This is a news story now. President Trump is in Texas. Of course, if you guys don't know, there's a Senate race, midterm elections in Texas, and it's between Ken Paxton and James Talerico. So another news story, Talarico, James Talarico, a Democrat, he's up on Ken Paxton and the amount of money that was raised. He has raised over he's ahead of Ken Paxton on cash on hand, over $19 million ahead. That's unbelievable. I'm saying, you think about the kind of campaign that James Talarico is running. I don't know if this is news, but he's running a people power campaign where he's really not taking much, if any, money whatsoever from what we call major corporations or what we call major donors. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, if we think about special interests, people And I hate to do this because I love Elon and I don't think he's a bad person. He's the only billionaire I like. I really think he's a smart person. He's a great guy, man. But what I'm saying is people like Elon Musk giving $250 million to President Trump, that's over 25% of all the money that President Trump raised. We would call Elon a special interest, meaning that Elon's interests are special because of the amount of money that he donated. This isn't new to politics. This isn't new to Elon. This isn't new to President Trump. I'm just telling you what James Talarico was saying and what the Democrats and the progressives are saying and what the American people want to hear from a candidate. They want to hear you getting most, if not all of your money from us, the people, individual donations. I'm saying James Talarico has gotten tens of thousands of individual donations. I think, listen, as a strategist and someone who's running campaigns, I just want to say James Talarico ran against Jasmine Crockett. I lived in the state of Texas from 2022 to 2025 in Houston, Texas. You guys, if y'all familiar with this channel, you guys know that we covered Jasmine. We were running series Jasmine for Texas. So I'm familiar with James Talarico because he was Jasmine's foe. You see what I'm saying? And Jasmine said last night, this is Jasmine's word, I watched her just to let you guys know, but Jasmine said that one thing she might not be good at is running campaigns. You know what I'm saying? But whenever I was thinking about running Jasmine's campaign, she was running her campaign based on name recognition, which is great. But the way James Talarico ran it was a people-powered campaign. I want to talk about this morning before we jump deep into the content. People-powered campaign, that means that I am getting my money from you guys, individual donors. New York City, I don't care where they're coming from. It's a Texas Senate race. You don't think people in New York City up here, I'm here in New York on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. You don't think people in New York City are donating to James Talarico? People from California, people from Chicago, all over the country. It don't matter where they're from. I would like them to be in Texas because what I'm trying to say, if you can do the hard work in your state, in the state of Texas, and you can convince people, I don't care if they're giving you $5, $10, $15, $20. If them people are giving you money, then they probably gonna vote for you. It's like this an investment. You see what I'm saying? It's like you building we do this in business. It's like you building a relationship with the customer, you feel me? So as a politician, he building a relationship with the people that he want to vote for him. When you taking money from a special interest, you build a relationship with that business. In the case of President Trump, he built a real relationship with Elon Musk, a real one, because they might not have had the best relationship before, but they have a great relationship. Well, they had a great relationship after he gave them $250 million. Do you think you will have a great relationship with a guy who give you $250 million? And for President Trump, it wasn't just about the $250 million, because we all know if President Trump don't become president, then he probably going to jail. He probably going to get locked up. So it's about a whole lot more than the money with President Trump and Elon helping him get reelected. You see what I'm saying? But because of that, President Trump, it's almost like he's obligated to serve Elon's interests. And like I said, this isn't President Trump, this is Elon Musk, this is politics in general. How many of us know this? This is politics 101. We all studied this. We political science majors, we know this. Politics 101, this is American politics, not on just a national level. Listen, in a representative democracy like that, I'm saying that can lead to corruption, and it does lead to corruption, and the American people are aware of this. And due to the American people being aware of this, that's why they don't want candidates taking money from special interests. I said all that to tell you guys, James Talarico Ken Paxton isn't on that train. That's why it's so important what I'm finna tell you guys right now when we get into this news story. Ken Paxton is on a train to where I'll take money from anybody. All the oil companies, listen, Texas got the top 2 economy in the United States, and to the state of Texas got a top 10 economy of all the states and nations in the entire world. They got money in Texas. You got oil money in Texas. You see what I'm saying? You got a lot of business, a lot of jobs in Texas. So I'm saying there's a lot of money to where there's a lot of corporations to where they could put the money to Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton is having problems. He's having trouble getting these businesses to donate or get behind his campaign. Look, one would think that, hey, look, he's a Republican, right? And I'm gonna ask you guys, as y'all come into the live stream, if you guys have not already, will y'all please double tap the screen for me if you on a cell phone? It's free to show a brother some love. That'll help us in the algorithm. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. But most importantly, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats, I want to see y'all down in the comment section. Y'all letting y'all voice be heard, because these midterm elections are so huge. They're so big. They're humongous. I'm saying we're thinking about the state of Texas. We're thinking about a Republican candidate in the state of Texas where Republicans have dominated elections. Dominated for over 30 years straight. They won statewide elections. This is a statewide election. A U.S. Senate seat in Texas. I'm saying, like, if you was blindfolded, and if this was 2024 and you would say a Democrat will have a chance at Texas, we'll be laughing. I'm saying the Democrats have been trying to win in Texas forever, because I've told you guys before, if you guys follow this content, how important the state of Texas is. The Republicans don't have a path to victory in a presidential election without the state of Texas. If the Democrats get a hold of Texas, it's over with for the Republicans. It looks like the Democrats getting a hold of Georgia. It's looking like Georgia, a solid red state. I'm saying, you think about Georgia. Where Georgia at? Georgia right in the middle of a bunch of red states. South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, surrounded by red. But you got 2 Democratic senators, and you about to have a Democratic governor in the state of Georgia. I would classify that as a blue state. What I'm trying to say, if that happens to Texas, it's over for the Republicans. The Republicans got a map, a roadway, pathway to victory in the Electoral College without Georgia, but they don't without Texas. That's how important Texas is. And the Republicans have held down the state of Texas for over 30 years. In statewide elections. It's a state that President Trump, I told y'all news, he's in Texas right now. He's campaigning for Ken Paxton. It's a state that President Trump won by 14 points just less than 2 years ago. Less than 2 years ago. And yet, and still, Ken Paxton, he can't get nobody, none of these big businesses. I'm saying, if I was a betting man, just a regular, normal man, and say if I was the CEO of Exxon, I'm just throwing a business name out there. Y'all don't start investigating Exxon, or don't take it literal. You know, they take me literal. I said my Democratic friends yesterday, they taking me literal like I mean these are my friends. Like I know these people. Don't take me literal. I mean, so say if I'm Exxon, and I'm just looking at, just thinking normally, 2024, I mean, even if it's Ken Paxton, it's not John Cronin. You might not like Ken Paxton personally. You might not like the baggage he has. You might not want to be in the same room with him by yourself if you're a business owner. But you might know some things coming down there. I ain't going to get into all that. But say, hey, you say, hey, this Ken Paxton, this is Republicans still, they dominated statewide elections 30 years. So why not we just throw 20, 30, 40 million dollars into his campaign to give him the ups? And that way, when he gets elected, because you will have to think, who in this live stream this morning think the Democrats, y'all really in your mind believe the Democrats are finna win that Senate seat in Texas? Ain't nobody but Ghost. Ain't nobody crazy enough but Ghost to think the Democrats are gonna win in Texas. Ain't nobody crazy enough to predict that 1.5, 1.8, 2 million, over 2 million Democrats were gonna vote in this year's primary that got Talerico elected over Jasmine Crockett in the Democratic primary. More Democrats than Republicans voted for the first time since what? Boy, you better slow down a little bit. I'm seeing something that y'all ain't seen. And I'm telling y'all, I think the businesses in Texas are seeing the same thing, because we all know in the United States of America, people put their money where their mouth is. Is that facts or fiction, y'all? People put their money where their mouth is. And I'm saying these businesses, especially the Republican Party, especially Republican businesses, especially the state of Texas, Republican state, especially Republicans dominated for over three decades in statewide elections. I'm saying it just seems like it's common sense that Talarico wouldn't have no problems at all getting these businesses to pour money in to him. And he gonna do just like Ted Cruz did to Beto O'Rourke in 2018. Get the black people, disenfranchise the black people, disenfranchise as many Hispanics as you can, get them not to show up, and then you squeak out a 1, 2, 3-point victory. It seemed like that would be the case, but that's not the case this year. The news is Talarico is winning 91% of independents. Imagine you having to run. Y'all might not know strategy. Y'all might not know politics. Y'all might not know. But that's why President Trump is in Texas for the next 2 days. This is why the businesses in Texas are not willing to just throw money behind Paxton, because they see these numbers. And 91% of independents, man, I'm saying you got to win every Republican, and every Republican is not enough, even in the state of Texas, especially in the state of Texas, which is a majority-minority state, especially in the state of Texas, which has the largest black population in the entire United States, especially in the state of Texas. I'm saying the state of Texas is only 40% white, and they largely vote Republican. All of that is fine, and that's all dandy. But 40% isn't enough to get you over the finish line. You're going to need some independents, and a lot of them. So he winning 41% of independents, 59% of Hispanics. You recognize that it's the same amount of Hispanics or more Hispanics than white people in Texas. You have just as many Hispanics as white, if not more, in the state of Texas. And you getting 59% of Hispanics and 91% of independents. I'm saying that's a coalition. That's a coalition. Here's where you can pick it up, James Talarico. He's only winning 79% of blacks. I know I'm supposed to be giving the news, you know what I'm saying? But he was Jasmine's opponent. So I got to add a little strategy in there, because I believe as a Democratic candidate, that's a problem Beto O'Rourke. If anything, James Talarico, who, by the way, here's some more news for you guys. The consensus of polls, he's winning this election by 3 points at this time, and he's up by $19 million. Some news for y'all in the state of Texas. James Talarico is polling 3 points ahead of Ken Paxton, the Republican, and a lot of polls he's up by as many as 7. Yeah, he ahead. He winning, no doubt, without a doubt. And the money-wise, $19 million. And I'm saying, if you talk to a strategist or you talk to a political person like Ghost, and you look at the numbers behind him winning, you look at the numbers behind his primary win, the numbers behind his candidacy, it's a people power campaign. We talking about 10, we talking about 20, we talking about 30, we talking about 40, we talking about 50, we talking about 60. This is one state, man. Thousands of individual donors. And I'm telling you, if these people that voted for you in the primary, they're probably going to vote for you in the general. I'm saying, if these people are donating their money to you guys, he's getting over 10% of Republicans. It's unbelievable. I don't see where Paxton's laying at to win. James Talarico at this moment in the race, and I told y'all we only 60-some days away from election day. We are under 70 days from election day, bro. That's a long time in election, but I don't see it right here. Because Talerico, he had a head start, man. He did it to Jasmine too, man. That people power campaign, that's what I was trying to get Jasmine to do, but she didn't have the time. And Jasmine was like trying to, she was running the campaign based off of name recognition. And I'm saying that's good, that's fine, and that's dandy. But in my mind, like the best way to run that campaign is what Talarico was doing. Is to get down there with the people and to convince the people to give you or send you money. If they sending you $10, they probably gonna vote for you. If you could convince them to send you $10, I'm sure you could convince them to vote for you. What I'm saying, that's wrong. People power campaign. I told Jasmine she need over 100,000 volunteers. James Talarico, he has over 100,000 volunteers. Some more news, guys. I gave y'all some of this already. President Trump's in Texas for 2 days trying to help Paxton raise money. Paxton having problems raising money, man. He losing the race. Let me start from the beginning. The Democrats outvoted the Republicans for the first time and I don't know when in a primary election. I'm talking about they had more Democrats showed up than showed up when Hillary. Think about this. You got Hillary and Barack. Who gonna bring out Democrats more than Hillary and Barack on the same ticket, literally? Hillary versus Barack in the Democratic primary. Well, I'm saying Talarico and James Talarico, and Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine's so popular, and James Talarico, he works so hard and so diligently connecting with the people. And I'm saying it was a perfect storm to where in the state of Texas, it's a Texas thing going on here, man. It's a blue wave coming, man. It's just about that time. And I'm saying I don't see how it could turn away from Talarico and what he's building and what he's doing in the state of Texas. And President Trump is literally, he's, we see it in him. He down there in Texas, man. He trying to, I'm saying, don't sleep on President Trump now. We're in the Republican Party. Don't sleep on him. We see what happened with Lindsey Graham's sister in South Carolina. She wasn't supposed to win that primary. I'm not saying she's going to win the general against a Democrat. That's different because what do we need? We need independence. We need the whole electorate. Listen, for those of y'all, all the mistakes that President Trump has made, because he has made a lot of mistakes since he's been president. Who agrees with that? Even if you like him, you love him, you support him, I'm sure you can recognize mistakes that he's made, right? If you're being fair, you can. Okay, so recognize the mistakes that he's made since he's been president. What I say, he still got at least 30 million voters with him. 30 million voters are still with him or riding with him. I mean, you looking at 170 million voters. I'm saying 30 million isn't a majority by no stretch of the imagination, but 30 million is a form, because you're looking at the rest of the voters. Who are they tagging on with? Who are they running to? There's no one. The Democrats, it'll come whenever 2028 come. But I mean, in individual districts and individual states, I'm saying they picking Democrats in the elections. But I'm saying right now, President Trump, as far as a national politician, I don't know. I know VP Harris the only thing because of how many millions of votes that she got. We know VP Harris. We've seen her. We've seen her get tens of millions of people to vote for her in a national election. I'm not saying that Governor Newsom can't do it. I'm not saying that Governor Shapiro can't do it. I'm not saying that Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez can't do it. I'm not saying that any of the Democrats can't do it. I'm just saying we've seen VP Harris. But what I'm telling y'all, I just want y'all to understand that President Trump, he is still the president. He is still popular within the Republican Party, regardless of how unpopular he is with the American people at whole. Look, at large, a lot of the problem that Ken Paxton is going to have, besides, him being accused of cheating on his wife. Because I'm saying, to me, the Democrats ran a perfect straight. They did this in Georgia as well. They ran a perfect straight. It's like the Republicans fell for the okie doke because the Republicans nominated a man who's been accused of sexual improprieties, a man who was arrested for corruption, to run against a Democrat who have a young, fresh-faced, 39-year-old preacher who ain't never, what you got on James Talerico, President Trump? And I'm saying this because he's down there telling Texans that James Talerico don't represent Texas values. And I'm trying to say, I'm looking at James Talerico and I'm looking at Ken Paxton, and I'm trying to figure out and see what President Trump is trying to convince Texans into seeing. Because I'm saying, using President Trump to rile up the base, to get the base to go vote, because a lot of them going to be lethargic. A lot of Republicans this election season are not going out there and vote with President Trump not being on the ticket. And as bad as the Republican parties have done since they've been in control, a lot of Republicans ain't voting. And ain't nobody really trying to donate money to Paxton against Talarico. That's telling you everything you need to know. So I'm saying President Trump, he out there and he got to convince them that, hey, Talarico, he ain't got no dirt to pour on him. I guess that's why the Democrats felt like he was better picked than Jasmine Crockett, because Jasmine probably going to be doing the same thing to Paxton right now, and the poll suggests it should be doing worse to Paxton right now in the state of Texas. But I'm saying President Trump going down to Texas with Jasmine Crockett as a target is a whole lot different than President Trump going down to Texas. It's a whole lot different than trying to deal with Talarico. And trying to tell the people of Texas that Talarico don't represent their values. I'm trying to see why. He talking about because of Talarico's support for transgenders. I'm saying that you gonna try to win the election on transgenders with a war in Iran, with inflation, with gas prices. You telling them that James Talarico don't represent their values because what? Democrats support gay marriage. He's supposed to be a preacher. He in the Bible Belt. I guarantee you when you put a microphone, because they're going to debate, he's going to debate Ken Paxton, and when you put a microphone in front of James Talarico's face and ask him to speak on his support for two men getting married, I guarantee you that man's going to have a pretty good answer for that. I'm saying he is from Texas. That is the Bible Belt. And he is a preacher. And so I told y'all I lived in town. I'm from Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? I'm from a city 5 hours from Houston, but I lived in Houston for 2 years. So I'm familiar with Texas politics. Not only Texas politics, I'm familiar with the voters of Texas and their views. If you guys have not liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell, guys. We are 30 minutes into the live stream. Up here on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Look, guys, I'm gonna give y'all the news real quick. Again, President Trump, he down in Texas already, 70 days out. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying if you a betting man and you looking at the election, you will have to say that Ken Paxton isn't out of this race by any means. He's down $19 million. He's trailing by at least 3 points, but you wouldn't think that Ken Paxton by any means is out of this race, due to the facts that the Republicans have found a way to dominate the state of Texas for the last 30 plus years. And then Republicans, President Trump, he could just tell the donors, hey, I know I could win this race. I know that's what he down there in Texas telling them donors. Y'all go ahead and give this money to Paxton. You might have to hold your nose. You might not like Paxton, but guys, we need this seat. We can't give this seat to the Democrats, and I know I could win this race. We've done it before. I know President Trump is telling the voters in Texas about Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz in 2018, how Ted Cruz still won the race by 3 points, regardless of how good the Democrats showing is. But I'm saying they need President Trump. They need the big dog. And I don't know if he going to convince the business owners in Texas, because Ken Paxton, you don't think the business owners in Texas who aren't giving money to Ken Paxton right now before President Trump showed up, you don't think they know that John Cronin was the candidate? Because I'm saying John Cronin, hold on a second, y'all. Y'all got to catch me now. I'm finna give y'all some news. It ain't really no news, but the way I put this together, I be cooking sometimes. Guys, listen to me. John Cronin, if I'm not mistaken, that's Texas Senate primary was the most money ever spent in the history of United States Senate primaries, if I'm not mistaken. So if I'm not mistaken, your boy John Cronin, he didn't have no problem raising money. I'm talking about tens of millions. He outraised, I mean, we look at between him and Paxton, but Cronin was getting the money. And I'm saying the Republicans, they outraised the Democrats. Even though they outraised the Democrats outvoted them. See, the business owners, they see that. The business owners, they gave their money to Cronin. And they see more how enthusiastic the Democrats are. And down in Texas, in that Senate seat, they scared of that. You see, Governor Abbott, he got a lot of money on. Governor Abbott got a cash chest, war chest, over 100 million on hand. You know what I'm saying? And I just seen some new polls with him and Gina Ineosa. And yeah, Governor Abbott looked like he pulling ahead of Gina Ineosa by, it looked like at least 5 points right now. I seen a poll where she was within a point of him, but right now he looked like he might be at least 5 points ahead. And them the same polls that's showing James Talerico at least 5 points ahead. It's astounding. I think President Trump, I think he took a risk by bumping off John Cronin. I think President Trump, he took a risk by bumping off John Cronin because you putting Paxton at the top of that Republican ticket in Texas, and Paxton is not a strong candidate by any means, by no means. Not by any means, by no means. He's not a strong candidate at all. And we see that's what's going on in Texas right now. That's the problems they're having in Texas right now. And that's why President Trump is down in Texas right now trying to rally the troops, but I don't know if it's already too late. Guys, I already predicted the Democrats, pretty much you could say the Democrats have won the House of Representatives. You could just say by how much? 20 seats, 30 seats, 40 seats. I think that's a done deal. I think what we're trying to figure out right now is if the Democrats are able to get the Senate as well. And if they do get the Senate, you know what I'm saying, it's probably going to be by a seat or two, you know? Or how close they can get, how much power they can accrue. You know, that's just what it's about right now. That's what everything is about right now. Good morning, Hannibal. Hannibal says Paxton can't debate anything with his record. And Hannibal, I'm aware of this. I know this. I think Paxton is aware of this too. I think the Texas business owners are aware of this too. And that's why they not donating money to him. Everyone's aware of this. They know about Paxton's record. They know Paxton is, you know what I'm saying, accused of sexual improprieties. Listen, if President Trump's saying that James Talarico doesn't represent Texas values, I don't know, Hannibal, how he could say that Ken Paxton represents Texas values. You see what I'm saying? Like I said before, if it was a national campaign, if it was a campaign where Ken Paxton was running, let's say in the city of New York, and they don't really know Ken Paxton. But I'm saying the state of Texas know Ken Paxton. The state of Texas remember when Ken Paxton was arrested on corruption charges. The state of Texas know about Ken Paxton's improprieties with his wife. The state of Texas, they know about this. The Republican Party, they didn't expel Ken Paxton. But that's the dip. Look, hold on a second, guys. I want to tell you guys this. Throughout all of Ken Paxton's failure, the Republican Party, they hadn't expelled Ken Paxton. That's one thing. You know what I'm saying? But the Texas Republican Party failure to expel Ken Paxton doesn't mean that they want him to be their governor. You feel what I'm saying? The Texas Republican Party failure to expel Ken Paxton doesn't mean they want him to be their senator. It's just as I don't see even how they allow him to remain as the attorney general. But I'm just saying, like, to be the attorney general, yeah, you could say the attorney general, yeah, we're going to let you be the attorney general. And I mean, he had enough popularity within the Republican Party to remain there. But I'm saying for the against John Cronin, the Texas, I'm talking about all of the Republican Party in Texas. We talking about the businesses. We talking about the money, the power, the majority of the voters. I mean, Ken Paxton won, got over the finish line. I think those were Texas voters doing a favor for President Trump, because President Trump put his neck in there, and now he got to go back to Texas. He's been there for the last 2 days because he stuck his neck in there, and Ken Paxton is having a rough time against James Talerico. See, President Trump, this is a perfect example of what's finna come up in November. We talking about in Ruby Red, Texas. I don't want to hear no excuse. President Trump ain't finna endorse no. Let me see President Trump show up for Mike Lawler in Westchester County in New York. What Republicans he gonna show up for in New York? Like when Mondami is running against Como or whoever, Silva. Like President Trump gonna show up and he know that he ain't gonna win that race. Your endorsement ain't gonna mean nothing. Well, what I'm saying, this is Texas. He won this state by 14 points. His endorsement should mean everything in Texas. President Trump putting his finger on the scale in Texas should decide the election, because he won the state by that many points. You feel what I'm saying? So understanding that in the state of Texas, President Trump down in Texas, he put his finger on the scale. He might have picked the wrong candidate, but he won that within the Republican Party. He got John Cronin booted out, and he got Ken Paxton in within the Republican Party. I'm telling you, he did this in South Carolina with Lindsey. That's why the Republicans, y'all better not, if you ain't got no election to run like John Cronin, like Bill Cassidy, like Thomas Massey, President Trump, then primaried you, then yeah, you could do what you want to do. But if you if you still like Byron Donald in Florida, he trying to become the first black governor of Florida. Like that, a Republican like that, that's different. He need President Trump's support. Within the Republican Party, you need his support. But what I'm trying to say is, even though he picked a winner in the Republican Party, you take that winner outside the Republican Party and you sit it next to a Democrat, and 91% of the independents going for the Democrats. What you expect the people, the businesses in Texas to do? Them people with money in Texas, I know James Talarico won that election already. They know he already won. They praying that Governor Abbott could hold on. They praying. They pouring that money into Governor Abbott now. They praying he could hold on, but James Talarico, man, they looking at Ken Paxton. They writing that Ken Paxton off. I'm trying to tell you, that's why they ain't giving him their money. That's what I'm trying to tell you too. Around the country, y'all think President Trump, he got see, the Democrats, they look at President Trump and they saying, how in the world is his word still worth anything? The Democrats looking at President Trump, they like, shoot, MAGA should be dead. Politically, President Trump should be dead. That's how they looking at it. You know what I'm saying? But the Democrats not seeing how much. It don't matter if the majority of the Republicans are against the war, they still in favor of President Trump. This is news too for us, because I hadn't told you guys this yet. President Trump, we know about Jared Kushner. We did a live stream about Jared Kushner meeting up with Hakeem Jeffries. That's what Jasmine was talking about last night with Clock It with Crockett. However, I didn't know, or I didn't tell y'all during that time, Hannibal, that President Trump is actually beefing with Congress. President Trump is beefing with the Republicans in Congress. I'm talking about in the public. He out there in the public. That's why he trying to talk to Hakeem. Because he see what's going on in America, and he's saying, hey, the American people, let me take that back. The Republican Party is not really holding this against me. They holding it against Congress, the Republicans in Congress. That's who they mad at. The people, when I say the Republican Party, I'm talking about the voters, the Republican voters. They're not really holding this big mess in this. That's how much they love President Trump. How can you blame Mike Johnson for a war in Iran? This is news. How many of y'all heard this? This is what President Trump's saying. But I'm saying how you could blame a Republican in Congress for gas prices. I'm saying how you could blame a Republican in Congress for a housing shortage or for rent prices whenever the Republicans in Congress, they did what President Trump is trying to do right now. When he came in them, they came up with a bipartisan bill and President Trump ain't even signing it. But it don't matter. It's all about perception. It's all about the voters, and the American voters, we talking about Republican voters, they still with President Trump in large part. They still like him. I guess you cast that ballot for him. You saying, hey, you praying that this work out, hope out, we gonna still support them. They still love them, they still support them. So within the Republican Party, he picked Paxton, who was a worse candidate than Cronin. But President Trump, he think he could work a magic trick. I don't know if he gonna be able to do one this time. I just don't know. I don't see it being there. I mean, I think because this is the state of Texas, that Paxton keep this interesting. I don't know if anyone else you gonna hear them say this, but I mean, I am a political strategist. That's why you gonna hear stuff like this from me. I think because this is the state of Texas, Paxton gonna keep this interesting. I think if this was Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, or any other purple state like this, I think that Talerico will run off with this race by over 10 points, 10 to 15. I think the only reason why he ain't gonna beat you, Paxton, by 15 points is because you are in Texas. And because you're in Texas, home field advantage, they ain't won in 30 years. I'm saying, we gonna give you that you're gonna stay in the race. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying the way it's looking right now, I'm saying, imagine the businesses, all you have to do is get the $20 million from a business. Special interest favors, when the Republicans said they're against special interest, when the Republicans said they're against businesses donating to their campaigns, that's what the Republican Party set up like that. You donate to my campaign as a business, and we gonna cut your taxes. Businesses, rich people. Yeah, that's why they set. I don't care Republican. Yeah, they set up like that. I just believe that. I'm not for nothing. With the progressives, to me, come with the best solutions. Don't take no money. Why don't let me hear Republicans say that we not gonna take no money from no special interest. Let me hear Paxton say that. Paxton can't say that. Paxton will take money from a grasshopper if the grasshopper had money to give him. Paxton will take money from Kermit the Frog if Kermit the Frog could give him some money. Paxton will take money from Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where are you? Paxton will take money from Scooby-Doo if Scooby-Doo will give him some money, I promise you. But Talarico said he not taking no money from no special interests. He not taking no money from no big business. He want money from the people, individual campaigns. That's how Bernie Sanders ran his campaign. And I'm telling you, bro, that is the best way to run a campaign. You connected with the people. Them people donate your money. Them donors, you are in contact with those donors, email addresses, getting them to the polls. You got over 100,000 volunteers spread out against the state. Anything you trying to do, I'm saying the ground game, the entire map. And if you look at the backdrop, if we were in a situation where the Republicans, they voted about like they do every primary. We saw a slight increase in the Republican primary vote in Texas, and that's what we see every primary, Republican primary during voting season. What we seen with the Democrats is something we hadn't seen. You know what I'm saying? So they pumped up, hyped up, enthusiastic. Talarico still has to shore up Hannibal, his support amongst the black community. And I told him and Gina Hinojosa, all y'all have to do is hire Jasmine Crockett as a surrogate and just pay her some money and let her go out there in Dallas and Tarrant County. Let her go out to Travis County. Let her go to Harris County and let her motivate the black. I mean, I want to see Jasmine with you, Gina Hinojosa, and with you, James Talarico, on the stage. Where the Texas Democratic Party at? Y'all want some strategy from Ghost? Here's some strategy for Ghost. I want to see Gina Hinojosa and James Talarico. We already seen them two together on stage. I want y'all to bring Jasmine up there with y'all. He only has 79% of the black vote in Texas. That's astounding. Y'all know Texas don't have the economic problems that are going on in a lot of other places in America. The Texas economy has a surplus. Texas economy is booming. You see what I'm saying? I know a lot of the Hispanics in South Texas that switched over to President Trump, Talarico's winning them by double digits. You know what I'm saying? He didn't got a lot of, but I'm saying, I'm still seeing one reason why, and I said this is one of the reasons besides me personally liking Jasmine, and me knowing Jasmine, I didn't know James Talarico, but I'm saying one of the reasons why the U.S. Open, guys, it's coming up real soon. New York City, guys, we got to get out there to the U.S. Open. You know what I'm saying? Eating and living in New York City, that's one of the reasons. Eating and living in New York City. I'm sorry, I just saw his shirt. I'm promoting the U.S. Open, man. Y'all got any spots for Legal Wars Live? We trying to get up in there. But listen, James Talarico, though, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to jump right back in, though. But what I'm saying is one of the main reasons why, guys, main reasons why that people really do not, they're seeing something in the Democratic Party in the state of Texas. Listen, if you guys seen what happened in Miami, where the Hispanics in Miami were voting Republican, they were voting Republican, they were voting Republican, they were voting Republican, they were voting Republican. And for the first time, just like in Texas, in over 3 decades, you get a female Democrat to become mayor of Miami. That was before Renee Good. That was before Ellis Peretti. That was before any wars in Iran. You feel what I'm saying? So if you look at that and you think about that, I'm saying that doesn't bode well. And then on top of that, we go right back to the same spot we was in. Talarico, 79% of black voters. I'm a little bit scared of that because it's Texas, because they have one there, and because President Trump had, and 2018, Beto O'Rourke, when he came short, the only reason why Beto O'Rourke didn't beat Ted Cruz in 2018 is because the black voters didn't show up to vote. You got a record number of voters that did show up to vote in this year's primary, Democratic primary in Texas. But what I'm trying to say is you want to make sure he only got, if James Talarico at this point has any weakness, that's 79% of black support. That 79%, that needs to go up to about 87%. It needs to go up about 10 points, 8 to 10 points. He's got to get more support from the black community. And I'm saying Gina Hinojosa, her campaign, I don't see how y'all, Texas has the largest swath of black voters in America. They have the largest black population in America, and they're not showing up to vote. And a lot of times it's because y'all are not nominating black candidates. So I'm saying you had an extremely popular black candidate that got over 500,000 or more primary voters to come vote for her, and a large part of them were black voters. He needs Jasmine voters. Gina Iniosa and your boy James Talarico Hannibal, they both need Jasmine's voters to win. So what I'm trying to say is you got to do stuff that you ain't done before. Yeah, it's cute. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's cool for James Talarico and Gina Iniosa to campaign together. But I guarantee you, if I look at Gina Iniosa, if I break down her poll numbers as well too, I guarantee you she probably could afford to shore up her support with the black community as well. So as a Texas Democratic Party, if you got Gina Iniosa and James Talarico holding hands together on stage, I don't see why you wouldn't put the Dallas Congresswoman up there with them. That's what I'm saying. I don't see why you wouldn't put the most popular, probably nationally, most popular Democrat. It ain't no probably, the most popular Democrat in Texas, one of the most popular politicians in the state of Texas. Why you won't put her on the stage with you when you know you need black voters? So that's something moving forward we need to see in Texas with Gina Iniosa and James Talarico moving closer to the election. I want to see Jasmine Crockett as a paid surrogate out there hustling hard for the Democratic Party for them to win. And y'all don't listen to me if y'all don't want to. Y'all know what happened to politicians and that don't listen to my advice. Y'all be seeing what happens to when they don't listen to my advice. I am scared of those black voters that are not going to show up to vote, and you need a large percent of black voters to win. Jasmine Crockett, she mobilized those black voters just off of her name, not doing none of the hard work that Gina Iniosa or James Talarico campaign-wise. Not saying Jasmine didn't do, but I'm saying campaign-wise, because if she ran her campaign the way that she would have beat James Talarico. You see what I'm saying? That's what I believe. If the way I wanted to do, you would have beat him. But that we neither here nor there. I'm talking about for today, James, you need to call Jasmine. That's the same thing I told President Trump. He need to call Hakeem. He didn't want to do it, right? Now what he got? Jared Kushner on the phone or meeting up with Hakeem. It ain't no calling. Meeting up with Hakeem, you had to do it anyway. If you do it when I say you should do it, it'll save you a lot of heartache. And y'all gonna find that out. You could, all the people, Hannibal and y'all who laugh, they could laugh all they want to. But the fact is, if you do it when I say you should do it, it'll save you a lot of heartache. And what I'm telling you right now, that James Talarico and Gina Iniosa, they need Jasmine Crockett, because she is the most popular Democrat in the state of Texas nationally. They need Jasmine Crockett because Jasmine Crockett can motivate and fire up those black voters, which are voters that they have had problems with and why they hadn't won state elections. James Talarico might have it sold up in the bag. Don't depend on that. Don't count on that. You need to triple down, quadruple down on victory. Y'all remember Hillary thinking she had the election in the bag and going soft. Don't go soft, boy. You gotta go hard. Your goal should be to beat him by 20 points. You might beat him by 2. That 2 points or 20 points. But I'm saying you should work to beat him by 20. So you need Jasmine and you need those black voters. You guys have not liked the video, y'all double tap the screen for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Guys, that's 55 minutes. Pretty much that's majority of what I gotta say, guys. You know what I'm saying? Majority of the content that we deliver. Upper West Side of Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? Just giving y'all the news on that Texas Senate seat. I thought that was pretty interesting. James Talarico, he's not only has a commanding lead, you know what I'm saying? That his lead was, he had a lead. We weren't too sure about his lead against Jasmine, but I guess it was, he did have a lead. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, he did have a lead, but, you know what I'm saying? Also, what James Talarico did, he outraged Jasmine, too. But I'm saying to do that against a Republican in a state where President Trump won by 14 points. To have James Talerico in the Senate race up 20 million. I'm saying all Ken Paxton needs is one donor. I'm saying $20 million to a Elon or Jeff Bezos or one of President Trump's friends is some chump change. But what I'm trying to tell you is who want to waste 20 million? They don't want to waste the money. That's why they so rich. They believe it's a waste of money giving it to Ken Paxton. Because they don't see Ken Paxton winning. President Trump down there trying to convince the Republican Party to get enthusiastic, but he don't realize the Republican Party is probably only 40% of the Texas voters. You can't win an election with 40% of the voters. The independents, 9 out of 10 of them with Talarico. I'm saying, I don't know how you get past that. I don't know how you gonna overcome that. Hey, Hannibal's, Michael says he bet 1K that Paxton wins. And down, man, I'll take you up on that offer. But the only thing is, Michael, I know you ain't gonna pay. Michael, the only reason why this bet could be official is if you email my email address, Ameliorate Legal, that's AMELIORATE, Ameliorate Legal, one word, @gmail.com, and you put that in writing. If you put that in writing, then I'll take your word for it. Because see, Michael, I don't even know who your real name is. I don't know nothing about you. So we'll just get on here and we'll say this and we'll say that. Yeah. You said win, hands down. There's no way in the world that's gonna happen. He's not gonna win. He's not gonna win. This isn't a situation where, okay, I like Jasmine. Jasmine cool. I seen Jasmine work for the people. Jasmine my favorite. Jasmine pretty. Whatever the reasons I'm supporting Jasmine, and I'm just picking her over James Talarico. This is a completely different situation. We're not picking her over James Talarico. It's not like I'm looking at James Talarico and I'm saying, I would be out of my mind to think that the Democrats, if I'm putting my name on it, and you guys know how good of a predictor I am, Michael might not, but the rest of you guys do, I would be out of my mind to put my name on an election. Put my name. Look, I made 4 predictions whenever I predicted that Jasmine was going to win against Talarico. I made 4 other predictions. Every other prediction was right besides the prediction that Jasmine was going to win. Every other prediction was right. I picked that how many Democrats were going to vote. Think about that. No one knew how many Democrats were going to vote in this primary. More Democrats voted than ever voted before. So I'm saying, how would I know that? How would I know over 1.8 million Democrats to vote? I picked that. I said that. I said that. I knew it. You know what I'm saying? I knew that. What other predictions? I have to look back at the predictions. I knew that the Republicans, I said the Democrats were going to outvote the Republicans. Look, I did this all before the voting started. I made these predictions before the voting started. The only prediction that I did not get right was that Jasmine was going to win. What I'm trying to tell y'all this is that I might have made that prediction about Jasmine, just like VP Harris, because I favor them personally. But what I'm trying to tell you is, though, this ain't no James Talarico and Ken Paxton. They both white. We ain't picking Jasmine. We ain't picking one of them because they race. I got clear vision. The Republican Party, Michael, is hugely favored to win. You've won over 30. I don't care what sport, what. If you dominated for over 30 years, then you should have no problems winning. Go check your prediction markets, Michael. I don't have to look at the prediction markets. I didn't look at the prediction markets, but if I had to say, I would pick James Talarico 60%. Right now, I'm at James Talarico 60%. I'm not saying he's going to win 60-40. That's ludicrous. I'm saying that I believe he has a 60% chance of winning as of this time right now. That's what I believe as of this time right now. The worst President Trump does, the more it'll grow. You guys got to think about the former. I'm finna give y'all some news. Right at exactly 1 hour into the live stream, look how that worked. I'm giving you guys some more news. President Trump said that America, and I think it was 300 million metric tons, but the United States were going to import beef. The U.S. importing beef. That's hurting cattle farmers across America. Texas is a huge rural state. Texas is a huge farming state. I'm saying a lot of farmers have been hurt by President Trump's policies. We see in rural America, even in rural America is turning towards the Democrats. It's unbelievable, and that's because the independents so powerful. The independents are 46% of the electorate. So I'm saying if you had the Republicans and Democrats combined, that's only 54%. So you split Republicans and Democrats 54% between Republicans and Democrats. The vast majority of the people who are voting are not affiliated with no party, either party. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So when you see Talarico, Michael, up 9-1 with the people who decide the election, how in the world can I think if you win an independence 9-1, I don't need no political science degree. I don't need to see no other number. I understand politics in America in 2026. I understand that the hiatus for the incumbent party, I'm saying it's going to be difficult for the incumbent party, especially with inflation that was higher than the previous president, gas prices higher than the previous president. You got beef prices at all-time highs, man. More news. Per pound, beef at an all-time highs. President Trump importing millions of tons of beef from other countries is only gonna lower the price by 35 cents. That's what you need to do. You need to flood the market. If he flood the market, he raised the supply, then the demand should go down. That means the price should drop. But I'm saying, like, even flooding the market with millions of tons of beef is only gonna drop the price by 35 cents. Michael, me knowing this, me realizing all of this, I'm saying the ground is right. Just like in Miami, the first time in 30, we've seen this across America. Democrats flipping seats, special elections, winning in places that they shouldn't be winning in. That was before Rene Good. That was before Alex Peretti. That was before Iran war. That was before 3.5% inflation. When President Trump took over, inflation was at 2.9%. He was elected to lower inflation, hopefully to where the feds wanted at 2.2, 2.4%. Instead, it's went higher. We almost 2 years in, he's been president. All of these things are going to get voted on in November, guys. Y'all could, Michael, you could drink your Kool-Aid and be in La La Land all you want to. I'm not in La La. Michael, I'm not in La La Land. What you saying, not general? The general is in November. The primaries for the large, I ain't talking no primaries. President Trump's still the big dog in the Republican Party. I just said that. He picked Paxton over Cronin. That was a mistake. Cronin was beating Jasmine Crockett and James Talarico. Ken Paxton was losing to Jasmine Crockett and James Talarico in the polls. Then you see all those Democrats go vote. Now you got President Trump fighting a forever war and the economy being complete garbage. I'm saying, what do you think what are the voters supposed to do? You expect the voters to vote Republican in this? I'm saying, listen, if everything was going the way it was supposed to be, the history of the midterm elections is that the incumbent party is having the worst difficult time. The incumbent party, they don't be winning. That's the history. That's the history of the midterm elections. The history of it. So I'm saying in this environment, in this climate, with him losing independence like that, yeah, I have to say, It's no way in the world that I cannot say that Ken Paxton, right now, I think he has a 60% chance of winning this election. He up 19, not Ken Paxton, James Talerico and the Democrats, up 19 points. $19 million. He up 7 points in the election. Michael, I don't know where you getting your facts from, bruh.
Here's the thing. I think everybody has, to a certain extent,
I don't know what that means. 125 veterans were deported by this idiot. Who you talking about? President Trump? That's unbelievable. Hannibal, I'm going to have to look into that because we don't need, look, the veterans, our veterans, I want to stop right now and salute our veterans, man. I'm a veteran of the United States military, United States Army. I'm a disabled veteran. I'm a black disabled veteran. Yeah, that's what I am. Anybody want to discriminate against a black person around me? You go into federal court or state court. Anybody want to mistreat a veteran or discriminate against a veteran around me? You go into court, state court or federal court. Anybody want to discriminate or mistreat someone who has a disability around me? You go into state court, federal court. I don't care who you are. I'll take your whole city to court, boy. You got to follow American law. And when I say follow American law, that's for veterans, that's for blacks, that's for women. You really need to just follow all the law. But what I'm saying is that's what I do, man. I stand up for veterans. Hey, Prometha, you gotta explain what you mean. I don't understand that. You said I put both of them together like the news, like they're the same things. When I'm giving you news, I say, hey, this is news. You know what I'm saying? President Trump in Texas for 2 days, that's news. Trying to help Ken Paxton raise money, that's news. James Talarico up $19 million on Ken Paxton, that's news. That's stuff you didn't know. Ken Paxton losing to James Talarico by 7 points in most polls, that's news. What we talking about? Then I tell you, I give you the analysis, my analysis and my strategy moving forward. I gave you all of that in this live stream. I give you all of that in every live stream. I give you the news, I give you my analysis and the strategy moving forward. Out of all the strategy, I don't have a strategy for Ken Paxton. He got President Trump down there. President Trump picked him. He should have picked Cronin. I don't have a strategy for you. As far as Gina Ineosa, you know what I'm saying? I favor Governor Abbott. I think Governor Abbott's going to win that race. There's no way in the world he could lose that race. See, Michael, if you say Governor Abbott is going to lose, that's something totally different. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Gina Ineosa, good luck. But you talking about Ken Paxton and James Talarico, that Senate race, nah, that's federal. What's happening in Texas? Texas is doing really good. Governor Abbott has been there 3 terms. That's something totally different than on the federal level, what the people of Texas have seen on the federal level, and they voting for a federal office job. Between a Republican, they don't want no more Republicans on the federal level. In the state of Texas, I don't think they're going to have a problem with Governor Abbott. A lot of people think Governor Abbott, look, if Jasmine probably, she ain't going to, nah, we don't want Governor Abbott to lose. Jasmine probably want Jasmine probably campaign for Gina Ineosa for free. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, me personally, that's just how I feel. You know, Governor Abbott, that's something totally different. But when you talking about like Ken Paxton, he's something different. He's different than Governor Abbott. Ken Paxton is not no Governor Abbott. And if you think so, you don't know Texas or Texas politics. Ken Paxton is cool amongst the Republicans. I doubt it seriously. Especially, look, Ken Paxton won a lot of his elections when other Republicans were winning theirs. Ken Paxton won a lot of his elections when other Republicans were winning theirs. This is a year where a lot of Republicans lose elections. I don't know how strong Ken Paxton is as a candidate. We obviously see he's not that strong. President Trump picked him, and all he can do is ensure that the Republicans show up to vote. But more than Republicans voted for President Trump. You don't understand that in Texas. In Texas, President Trump had a lot of independents vote for him. He even had a number of Democrats vote for him. You see what I'm saying? In this past election. So I'm just telling you, them Democrats and them independents, they not coming. So he got to depend strictly on 40% of Republicans. 40% don't win you an election. That's factual. Them independents and them Democrats are not coming. So you got to depend all on Republicans. Within the Republicans, he put his finger on the scale at will. That's within the Republicans. But with the Democrats, it's something, and the independents is something totally different. In a bigger, a larger scale election, we are looking at a completely different scenario. And that's what we see him getting played out. Hannibal said Paxton is corrupt like Trump. That's true. But the reason why he picked Paxton, I think it was more of him being mad at Cronin. Cronin didn't all the way go with the things he wanted him to do or support him. You know how President Trump is. He get a little attitude problem with you. You gone. That's what happened with Thomas Massey. You see what I'm saying? It's just that you can't do that all the time. He just gave the Democrats a Senate seat. I don't care what Michael's saying. He just gave them a Senate seat. Here we go again, Michael. We gonna have to out. You were saying a lot of. I would love to have someone who would come in this live stream and give us a opposite perspective, like my boy Brian C. and other Republicans we had in this live stream, an opposite perspective, instead of coming in this live stream like they just desperate and mad. You know what I'm saying? If you calling someone a socialist, well, let me say it like this. When you start crying and you start calling people outside their names, I'm saying, how many people got to say bad things about VP Harris in December 2024? Y'all just won an election. But whenever they come into the chat and the live stream and they doing all that extra stuff, yeah, man, it's because they know what's coming, man. They can feel it, they can smell it, they can sense it. They know what's coming. President Trump just made some bad decisions since he been president, Hannibal. That's just bottom line facts. I don't care how much they don't like it. Y'all tell me where ask you a question, why not answer? Tommy says still a seat. You mean win a seat? It's really a steal, because that's the seat that the Republicans could have easily maintained with John Conan. I believe if the Republicans keep John Conan, then if President Trump don't step in, because I think Conan was going to win. I think what President Trump put his finger on the scale. He picked Pelosi. Pelosi used to try for America. I'm not disputing whether or not she was right or wrong. Used to try for America. I'm not disputing whether or not she was right or wrong. But I'm saying it's no way you could block a candidate or you could block a politician that is going and pulling crowds of 80,000 people. Listen. You trying to stunt what the people really want. The people want AOC. They want Bernie Sanders. Give them what they want. You feel that? Instead of giving them what they want, I'm saying what was happening is that you was blocking. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing with President Trump. President Trump's for a different reason. It's for a personal reason. You go against the Trump's reasons. Well, it's a whole different scenario going on with President Trump. But yeah, and still though, I'm saying Cronin was the better candidate. Period. Cronin is the candidate. When President Trump put his finger on the scale, he allowed the Democrats to steal it. If you guys have not liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Also, guys, we've been streaming for an hour and 15 minutes. Right about now at this time, it's a perfect chance for you guys to donate to the channel, to support the channel. Guys, we've been doing good the last 3 months. We want to keep the support coming. Listen, I got a new series coming, okay? You guys might not have heard this at the beginning of the stream. I'm telling you guys right now. It's called Eating and Living New York, okay? I'm talking about we going everywhere, all through the city. It's not a tour, but it's kind of similar to a tour. You know what I'm saying? We're going to eat. We're going to baseball games. We're going to museums. You know, anybody who wants to visit the city, I'm just bringing some culture-based content, you know what I'm saying, with a little bit of political spin, you know what I'm saying, but culture-based content, and I'm bringing it to you guys. You know what I'm saying? How I'm able to do that is through you guys' donations. So when you donate, it's going to a certain bank account, and all that money that you guys are donating, look at my boy WTF. That's what I'm talking about. These are the people, man, that keep this live stream going. That's 5 channel memberships. I appreciate it, sir. You know what I'm saying? 5 channel memberships, and he knows the channel memberships is the best way to donate. Every time you guys donate to this channel, it goes to a Bank of America account. I don't touch that money. You see what I'm saying? So whenever we start doing, like, when I'm doing Eating and Living New York, so we going to a Yankees game, and I'm recording content, and I'm saying I'm doing live streams, and you guys donate, and it's still going to that account, but you guys know it costs money to go to a Yankees game. How many of you guys are ready for Legal Wars Live to do a regular live stream in a studio or with a microphone on the computer, screen sharing, you know what I'm saying, so I could bring up President Trump speaking while, you know what I'm saying, I'm giving it. How many of y'all, it costs money to do that? What I'm saying is all the money, this is the first time I've done this. September the 1st will be the 2nd year that I've been streaming Legal Wars Live. 2 years, September the 1st. In 2 years that I've been doing this live stream, I've never done it like this, to where I'm collecting every single, that WTF, that donation, every donation I'm collecting. And when it's time to go out and produce new content or fresh content, I'm spending my own money. But I'm saying I'm trying effectively to take this channel to another place, man. So every time I come on the live stream, my people in here like WTF, like Hannibal, together, you know what I'm saying, they support the channel. I appreciate the love. That's all we need is just a little bit of support. We're going to keep collecting. We're going to keep saving. We're going to keep letting our voices be heard. It's about us collecting. Listen to me. I've had a lot of people in this live stream. When we first started the live stream, I had a lot of people who were against me. Of course, you guys know this. Some of you guys know this. Some of y'all who don't. Y'all see knuckleheads in the live stream. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, some of the moderators, you know, I have a personality disorder. I've changed a lot of these tactics, but some of the moderators, you know what I'm saying, I ended up having to block out the stream. If those people went and started a different page and they jump back in the stream, I'm saying all of the day ones, anybody is welcome in this live stream to have conversations about the things that are going on in America, the country that we love. Everybody's welcome. Whatever the topic is, the most intelligent conversations. I say this all the time. That's one thing I like about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk opened up a platform to have intelligent conversation. These are young people. He's at Utah State when he's assassinated. He's going around thousands of young people. Young people, y'all got to think about these. Primarily, what's the age primarily at a Turning Point USA events? These are young people. And I'm saying he's not Scooby-Dooby-Doo. He's not trying to entertain these young people. What he's doing is he's allowing them to participate in this beautiful process. In America, we get to choose our kings. We get to choose our leaders. Effectively choosing the leader of the free world, man. You see what I'm saying? We got a voice in America. We expect President Trump, Hannibal, WTF over. We expect President Trump to listen to us and hear what we got to say. We expect him to. This is America. This is this is what we know. So I'm saying we should always support platforms, any platforms that's allowing people to freely speak. You know what I'm saying? That any platform that welcomes everyone, you welcoming everyone. You welcoming Republicans, you welcoming Democrats, you welcoming independents, anyone and anything they have to say, as long as you have respect for the person that you're talking with. Let's have the conversation, man. That's what Legal Wars Live has been about. All the people who donate, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all already know. WTF says, I've been a contractor for 5 years. This Iran war slowed growth down. Is finally coming back. Man, listen, I want to say this, WTF. What I've seen from President Trump in the last 7 days has been pretty encouraging. Besides him going to Texas to try to rally for Ken Paxton, I understand why he's doing that, though. You know what I'm saying? We talked about him putting his finger on the scale just a week ago when he shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? So maybe somebody is, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, and so he got to try to clean that up. Because I'm saying Governor Abbott, you don't want Governor Abbott like Governor Abbott. There's no reason why. See, I'm not a Democrat or a progressive, and I know Jasmine and them, they probably hate me for this if they heard this, but I'm saying I look at Governor Abbott and I'm saying, like, man, with that economy that he has in that state, surplus, he's pretty much wrote a model on how to run your state and the economy. How in the world could he be in danger of losing his job or his seat? I mean, he should, Governor Abbott, in a wheelchair with his disability. I got a disability. Governor Abbott should, in my opinion, be the longest tenured governor in the history of Texas. Look how good they're doing economically. Look, there's no perfect politician. No politician's gonna do anything perfect. But what I'm saying, what I've seen from him, I've seen Governor Abbott, I've seen a lack of corruption in Texas government. I've seen a lack of corruption with Governor Abbott. That's me personally. I lived in Texas. I'm not watching CNN or Fox News and getting an opinion. I lived in Houston. I lived in a Democratic city where I was surrounded by people who did not like Governor Abbott. And I'm saying I don't have an opinion on nobody till I see something. I kept going to his state. When the federal courts were corrupt, I would go to the state courts. None of his stuff, I'm not giving all the credit to Governor Abbott about the results I got in the state of Texas. The Texas Democrats helped me as well. Y'all see the love I have for Jasmine. Y'all see the strategy and the analysis for free that I just throw out there towards the Texas Democrats. Well, I'm saying I got a lot of love. Governor Abbott don't need my help. If Governor Abbott can't win in Texas, there ain't no Republican in America to say. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that, like, to finish the thought though, WTF, like, it's encouraging to see President Trump deciding to fight Iran economically. I believe if he stays in the mind frame of economics when he's fighting them, I think he'll be successful. He is choking their economy, not saying how much money they had previous to the choke, not saying how much money China is stifling in. You know what I'm saying? Guys, this is news too. An hour and a half in, President Trump, I heard them say the Strait of Hormuz is open. I ain't come out here with a lie. I think it was more beneficial to talk about Ken Paxton and James Talerico this morning. Probably would have got more views if I would have had a live stream entitled Strait of Hormuz is open. You know what I'm saying? But how many times have we heard that the Strait of Hormuz was open? How many times? So Iran supposedly had made a deal with Oman. But I'm saying if President Trump go for the okie doke, that's on him. I'm not going for the okie doke. I'm saying I'm not unfreezing no funds, no sanctions. I'm not doing nothing. I want to see traffic flowing through, in and out the Strait for like 7 to 14 days before I do anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at, guys. You know what I'm saying? It's encouraging to see President Trump send Hakeem to go talk to, to send Jared to go talk to Hakeem. You know, those are things that I was saying. You know, all of this stuff is encouraging. It's encouraging. You know, maybe he can see the light and try to take a turn. You know, we know that it's kind of suspect. It's getting close to midterms. I think the American people know it's kind of suspect, and I just don't think it's going to be enough to get him enough seats that he needs to keep control of the House of Representatives. Definitely. Maybe not the Senate. Let's see. WTF says Trump made more stock trades last year than all of Congress combined. Listen, WTF, somebody cracking up. WTF, listen, this is what I want to say. That's why Hakeem was like, the investigation's going to be that he's not, but listen, you cannot stop him from doing his job. It's a tough position to be in. I have to investigate you, and at the same time, you still the sitting president, and at the same time, I still have to deliver for the American people. You see what I'm saying? If I have to choose between the three, investigating President Trump for stock trades, keeping my party happy, and the American people, I will have to let him go on the stock trades. And I know y'all Democrats probably screaming, hollering, pulling out your hair. Oh, I can't believe we knew Ghost wasn't really no legal dude. We know he really don't care and love the law. But I'm going to tell you the only reason why is because the whole reason he was elected for his job is to help the American people. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's the reason why any of them there. That's the reason Hakeem there. That's the reason Jasmine there. That's the reason President Trump there. That's the reason all of them are there. Is to help the American people. So I'm saying at this point, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to decide that, hey, today is the day that I go help the American people. What's wrong with that? I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with that. I'm saying I'm trying to figure out okay, so you could say that if President Trump, let me ask you a question. If Hakeem Jeffries, in that first term, he made a crime bill with Jared Kushner and President Trump, right? In that first term, Hakeem Jeffries and Jared Kushner were primary in that crime bill, right? Okay, did that stop the Democrats from investigating Jared Kushner? They still investigated Jared Kushner. They still brought charges on all of them. That's what y'all don't understand. If this time something happens and they make some kind of deal and somebody get out of some kind of smoke, but the American people get help, I really don't care personally. Look, WTF, I'm not hating. Him making them stock trades, that's wrong. Whatever's illegal, it needs to be dealt with. We need to root out the corruption. I'm anti-corruption, but I'm more for the American people getting the assistance that they need at all costs. Because we can't get Congress to work. We can't get our political system to work. We can't get it to work. That's what I'm saying. So if by getting it to work, if we could finally, you know what I'm saying, the American people, we could get some help for the American people. I'm saying, I'm not complaining about that. Me personally, I mean, listen, President Trump making over $2 billion in a year, stock trades and all of that. Listen, all I'm trying to say is that, like, I mean, I really don't care. You know, he made $2 billion. He was a businessman before he got into the White House. I personally don't care. And look, WTF, I know it matters, and I know you care, and I know a lot of American people care, but what I'm saying is what they're going to vote on, or what they care about most, is inflation. The stock trades matter because inflation is higher than it was when he took over. I promise you, if he had this economy looking like 2017, 2018, and 2019, that Russian it's going to end up being a Russian hoax story. The American people I help keep y'all focused. That's what I do. I'm a political strategist. They don't care. They just don't. Listen, I could see if you said a man before he became president, he was worth $100,000, and his first year as president, he made $2 billion. That just seemed like something bad happened, right? But I'm saying this guy was already a billionaire. This guy already had businesses. This guy was already doing all of that stuff, and the people still voted for him. I don't care about none of that. I don't care if it's corruption. The Democrats care about that. The political class care about that. The Democrats gotta understand, Mr. Full Circle, because this happened with y'all before, and y'all lost touch with the American people. Hakeem Jeffries is smart. The number one goal is to pass these legislation to help the people. That's number one. Number two is to pursue President Trump. That's number two. President Trump is not running on the ballot in 2028. So don't fall for that okie doke. Don't fall for that trap. Don't spend 27 and 28 trying to prosecute him and neglect the needs of the American people. Because see, the people, the working class left the Democratic Party, Mr. Full Circle, WTF over and Hannibal. The working class left the Democratic Party because the Democrats started ignoring them and were more focused on President Trump. Don't lose what the focus is. The focus is to help the American people. All the progressives on the sideline calling foul because Hakeem met up with Jared Kushner. That's you the reason why the Republicans in power right now. That man needs to focus on doing his job. That's to help the American people. And y'all could do that political stuff on y'all own time. Because we still waiting on gas prices to get lower. We still waiting on inflation. We still waiting on the promise. We still trying to access the American dream, man. In the meantime, in between time, while y'all having y'all Bloods and Crip fight, our country burning. You got like Hakeem, he doing the right thing, bro, to help these people. Cause he wants to do it. Listen how noble that is. He said it. I heard him say it on CNN. The Republican counterparts ain't working with me. So when Jared Kushner called him, he been trying to do this before all of the drama started. He been trying because he wants to help the people. So the only way I can help the people is right here. Then I'm this. And if we miss it, we miss it. If you miss the shot, you miss the shot. He not running for president. Y'all got let a real strategist help y'all. Y'all want to be who wanted progressive to be president in 2028? I'm telling you, let me help you. Let me help you. Because I know what I'm talking about. The voters are voting. The political class are voting too, but it's not enough for y'all to affect the election. So you might be saying President Trump is corrupt, and you might be right, but the voters are not the political class, and they don't care about that politics. They care about their personal lives, and they gonna vote for the politician who they feel like gonna help them in their, say it with me one time, personal lives. So you spending all your time, listen, I'm not Mr. Full Circle. I'm not all y'all who's saying that it's some kind of corruption. You could do your investigation. All I'm saying, please don't spend 2027 talking about President Trump corrupt. The American people know that. The only reason they care is because of the pocketbook issues. I'm saying you could prosecute him on all political issues. If I was a king, and if my goal was to impeach him, if I was going to impeach him, I would not impeach him on him getting money or him investing in the stock market. Nobody cares about that. I would impeach him on the Iran war. Impeach him on the Iran war. Then y'all pass a law about the Iran war, and then I'm saying impeach him on that. Because you'll have the American people with you on that now. They'll be with you. And you look, the gas price, let gas price get to $6 an hour. Man, listen, $6 a gallon. Listen, I did a stream. I forgot when it was. I remember the date. But I had told my mama about it. It was right before the Iran war started. Bro, the first 10 minutes in that live stream, everything that's happening today, I said it within the first 10 minutes of that live stream. It's on the Cruising with Ghosts episodes. I was trying to get the AI thing from my mama to show her so she could read the words. And it's like, if you read the words on that live stream, the transcript, if you hearing somebody say words and reading words is different. If she read the words on that transcript that I said prior to that Iran war, what was gonna happen, it's like you read, it's like you almost could read, like almost some in Revelations, where you could, it went just like he said, I told you out the third, fourth week of fighting, they gonna be screaming off with his head. Figuratively, if you can't understand me, the ones who understand me, I speak figuratively a lot. You know what I'm saying? If I said that the Saints lost 1,000 games, you know they only play 16 games. So when I say 1,000 games, I don't mean 1,000. That means a lot. Some of y'all so literal with everything you say. So literal. Oh, them my people in them. They so literal. Stop being literal, bro. You got. I mean, some people ain't that smart though. You gotta be able to pick up on stuff. You know what I'm talking about? But real talk, and I'm saying the same thing. It's the same situation that's going on, man. That's how I be predicting, calling, doing all of that stuff. Somebody said that Trump is the devil. That's your opinion. You see what I'm saying? That's your opinion. I wouldn't use those words about him because he is not that what you saying he is, but you are definitely entitled to your opinion. WTF over says Trump can influence the stock market and make money of it. Why? Yeah, that is wrong. That's wrong. This WTF, baby, I'm not denying or disputing nothing you saying that's wrong. But what I'm saying is he can influence the stock market in a way to make money. It's like, you almost, listen to me, this is the case you need to prosecute though. Because if you talk about stock trades and stock futures, WTF, the American people don't care. But if you saying that, hey, I could put my finger on the scale right here so I can make money right here, and it's to the detriment of the United States, now that's something that'll get their attention. But you gotta have all the facts and the proof. You gotta have the facts and the proof to where how he made a decision A, B, C, or D, and he had money in the stock market and he benefited for the stock market, and you show the detriment to America. And you got to be able to clearly communicate that case to the American people. You got to campaign that to them and get them to believe that. But I'm saying, I think you have a lot better shot at getting to him by just going off of, listen, you got a war which 74% of American people are against. What are we talking about? What else are we talking about? You got an economy that look like that. You got a stock market that look like, well, the stock market ain't that bad, but I'm saying the gas prices, you got inflation that look like that. You got a forever war that you know the American people hate. You got, I'm talking about a wealth of political issues to attack him on that he gave you. So if he was corrupt, I'm saying it is Hakeem Jeffries, say it with me one time, J-O-B, say it with me. It's Hakeem Jeffries' job to investigate. That's something totally different. But I'm saying the Democratic Party, the campaign political apparatus, they shouldn't be talking about, or the candidates, Saheed in Michigan should not be talking about President Trump $1 billion. That's what I'm saying. James Talerico in Texas, running for a Texas Senate seat, shouldn't be talking about President Trump being corrupt. That's not how you gonna win that election. That's a state that he won by 14 points. Listen to me. Y'all just need, get you a strategist. How are you a good strategist? This is a state that President Trump won by 14 points. He 80 years old. When he started getting corrupt, when he won the presidency, if he corrupt, he been corrupt, boy. They still voted for him by 14 points, don't they? I don't think Texas care if he corrupt or not. That's not what they care about. That's not how you gonna win the election. You saying he a dirty dude? Really? This the dude, listen, we watched, what was that on? That was on E, that was on entertainment. We watched that dude say, I'ma just walk up to a random female that I don't know and grab her by the pee. We heard him say that. Boy, I'm telling you, in my younger days, in my 20s, bro, I was a wild dude, but it's no way in my wildest imagination that I ever fixed my words to even say that. I say some things, some wild things. I done did wild things, girls, everything. But I'm saying, you just a random female. We heard they still voted for him. You don't think America seen President Trump file bankruptcy? You don't think they know he was filing bankruptcy? So I'm saying, I don't know what the Democrats thinking when you talking about he colluding with Russia. Paul Manafort went to jail for that. I had to come back and correct myself. Didn't Rudy Giuliani? People got charges. I'm not saying nothing was going on, but that's a political class fight. That's a fight with the political class. I'm saying you coming to the voters and you telling us this man collude with Russia and our gas is $1.80. You telling us this man is colluding with Russia and you could go to McDonald's and get 99-cent cheeseburgers. Why the American people they don't care. They like 2017 Trump. That's why he got reelected. They like 2018 Trump. That's how he got reelected. They like 2019 Trump. So anything you talking about before 2020, they don't care. That's what I'm saying. He made $2 billion in the stock market. That's bad. When he putting his finger, imagine if you could prove, because that's what you got to prove. You can't do it. You're going to sound like a Republican saying that they got weapons of mass destruction. But instead of doing it against a foreign country, you doing it against President Trump. So you telling the American people that he took us to war so he can make $2 billion. You gotta prove that. Where the proof at? I wanna see it. This time I need proof. Cause that's some strong words, cause I'm saying that's treasonous. That ain't no high crimes and misdemeanors, that's treasonous. If you took us to war and got us in a situation where Iran and Oman is controlling the Strait now, and you diminish the American power, like, nah, that's treasonous. So if somebody's saying he did that for $1, I'm saying you sold out America for $1? What? Nah, that's treasonous. You gotta have proof for that. You can't just come out and say that. And what I'm saying is that is something that the American people will care about, but you gonna have to have some strong proof. Some strong proof. Because if you don't, it's gonna be a Russian hoax story. And the American people are gonna be like, why you talking about President Trump and his $2 billion, this what they doing in their pocket. Hold on, let me. Hey, I might have something in them pockets I don't need you to see right now. But why you talking about President Trump and the $2 billion he made, the American people like, oh, we went and voted for you, Democrat, because this what our pockets looking like. That's our pockets. So he made $2 billion, but you see our pockets though. That's our pockets. So we voting for a Democrat so we could put something in our pockets, not for you to be talking about what President Trump made and did made. You got to be careful how you talk about that too, because that'll make you look like you jealous. He making $2 billion as a sitting president, and you a Democrat, and the party coming at him for that can appear as if you jealous. To the American people, I'm saying you got to get you some real strategists who know what they doing because I'm saying if so, the Democrat, y'all could give up that power. I mean, this your chance. Don't blow your chance. Focusing on President Trump, stay focused on what your job is, boy. I told you I got trained to focus. Yeah, I did got trained to focus. Stay focused on your job. Your job is the American people. That's your job. So when Hakeem Jeffries is meeting with Jared Kushner, that's telling me he focused not on politics, not on being the next Speaker of the House, which he will be. He's focused on doing his job. Ha! I don't need no round of applause. Ha! When Hakeem Jeffries became the Speaker of the House, and the FBI said Tom Homan took a bag of money from the FBI, and when Hakeem Jeffries want to investigate Tom Homan, guess what? He's doing, say it with me, that's his job. But I'm saying, if you running a campaign, you trying to talk to the American people, don't care about this. CNN care, Fox News care, MSNBC care, the pundits care, Ghostwriter care. The American people have an interest, but what they gonna vote on? They not voting on President Trump colluding with Russia. You gonna have to give them some proof of him sitting down a recorded conversation with Vladimir Putin said, hey, buddy, we finna destroy America. Or the CIA chief, we finna destroy. You gonna have to come with something like that to say he colluding with Russia. The American people, they wanna know what them gas prices look like. So you start talking about him and his name on this building and this ballroom, and you see the Democrats, y'all starting to do what y'all did last time to lose the election, to give him all the power, because for some reason you become magnetized and focused on what he doing, and you forgetting about who. What's it about? It's about the people. Don't forget the people. The people want to know about gas prices. So as long as they hearing Saheed in Michigan talk about the gas prices, then he locked in. This news, he got a 2-point lead in a new poll over Mike Rogers. Yeah, he coming back. They hear James Talerico talk about the gas prices, then hey, just stay talking about what they care about. Hakeem Jeffries meeting up with Jared Kushner helped you on target. You doing what you're supposed to be doing. But I'm saying the people who supposed to investigate corruption, let Congress do their job. And if you're not in Congress, don't be doing Jasmine Crockett could talk about that. She not running no election. You understand that? She in Congress. That's her job. She on the committee. That's her job. She's not in no election. But James Talarico is not in Congress. It is not his job, and the voters of Texas don't care nothing, I promise you. You will get destroyed in an election if you make that issue about President Trump being corrupt. They knew he was corrupt before 2024, and they voted for him by 14 points. So if they gonna vote somewhere else, it's because inflation, gas, you fill in the blank. It ain't got nothing to do with him being a bad person. The American people know he a bad person. It's like the Democrats keep trying to relitigate this case. Hey y'all, this dude is a bad person. Hey y'all, he's a bad person. Hey y'all, he corrupt. The American people, we know he corrupt. They don't care. They knew a president in the 90s had oral sex with someone who was 30 years younger than him, but he made the trains run on time and the economy was good. They didn't care. So they don't care if this dude is corrupt. They're not going to care about the stock trades. They're not going to care about none of that. I don't think you're going to have enough proof or be able to show enough proof to the American people to make them care. I'm going to tell you what they care about. Stay focused on what they care about. And you talking to the political class, that's the political class. That's what they care about. If you're talking to political donors care different than a political class. A political donor, the care that they have, they gonna want you to do something for them. That's a different class. When you talking to the voters, that's a different class. You could just be talking to American people in general, and that's different than talking to voters. There's some Americans that you gotta govern that's never gonna go vote. You got to understand all of this. If you need to come take political science, we could go take the classes now. What universities y'all got up here in New York? We could go take the classes. I'm sure Harvard, what schools y'all got around here? They got political science classes, bro. You could take the classes. You got to understand who your audience is. You cannot have the Democratic Party trying to prosecute President Trump. The Democratic Party need to be prosecuting that decision to go to war with Iran. The Democratic Party need to be prosecuting the price of gas. The Democratic Party need to be prosecuting inflation. The Democratic Party need to be prosecuting a housing crisis. Call Mondami. Call your mayor in New York. He can help you out. He prosecuting the right stuff. That's how you get a 70% approval rate. It's by doing what Zoran doing. That's how you get 70% of the people in your city. President Trump, in contrast, his approval rating is about 35, 36%. But you want to double that. How you double that is by getting down there and staying focused on what the people care about. When President Trump came into office, he was too focused on retribution. When President Trump came into office, he was too focused on the Democrats and getting get back. He's 79 years old riding around here like he on the get back game. He can't talk to no Democrats. He can't meet with no Democrats, and he's sending troops to he's sending troops to the Democratic cities, and that's why his government looked the way it do. This government wasn't set up to be ran by just Republicans. This government wasn't set up to be ran by just Democrats. This government was set up to have an argument, and the conclusion of that argument is how we move forward, say it with me, together. Because you don't understand that, you need to go back to the university and take some classes and get some education. Because a lot of people walking around here thinking they smart, and I could challenge you, you're not as smart as you think you are. Our government ain't set up for no Democrats or no progressives. Our government is set up for blue and red and white, all of it in between. You gotta make you gotta melt the melting pot. You gotta make it cook, and it's gotta produce a great product. I mean, you gotta make it come together. Everybody can't cook. Bill Clinton could cook. Bill Clinton, he'll get head from a 20-year-old in a second. He had his problems, but that in politics, that boy could cook. I know y'all like Barack Obama better, but Bill Clinton, I'm sorry to tell you, he was a better politician than President Obama. I love President Obama. Like Martin Luther King, his words would make you cry. But Bill Clinton as a politician, not as a president, not to inspire you, not to lead a nation. I'm talking about as a pure politician. Bill Clinton was one of the best politicians I ever seen in my life. I think Ronald Reagan might have edged him out just by a half a hair in the governance. But I'm saying I think Bill Clinton was a better politician than Ronald Reagan. I ain't never seen no politician like that. That's a smooth talking, smart Arkansas dude. I'm talking about when the last time, look, President Obama is loved. He's beloved. He's beloved by a lot of people. But the last time I seen a Democrat get respect from Republicans like Bill Clinton did. When Bill Clinton was in his 40s and 50s, Bill Clinton had respect across the political spectrum. That's what we looking for. You gotta know how to cook. What President Obama did when he got elected, he went and got the Republicans, and he said, y'all come on in here. I know we ain't gonna be able to get along, but this is what we supposed to do. This is how you govern America. Hey, Republicans, y'all come on, get in here. Let's have a conversation or two. I know we ain't gonna agree on nothing, but we gotta try. You can't stop trying. Because when you stop trying, you got an America that look like President Trump's America. He don't want to talk to no Democrats. Listen, you won 48% of the vote. You got a whole lot of independents to vote with you. But that's still not half of the voters. That's less than half of the voters. 52% is the majority. 52% of the voters voted against you. We're not talking about that. You still president. We talking about how you govern. So you trying to govern for this 48%. He done lost all the independents. All he got left is his Republicans, and he losing them. You can't govern from one part of the country. You gotta make an attempt. President Obama, listen, when they passed when they got Obamacare across the finish line, they jammed it down. I think it was a reconciliation bill, if I'm not mistaken. It was none but Democrats. He jammed it. Just like the big, beautiful bill. It wouldn't have got passed. But let me tell you something. You know how many tens of millions of Americans that helped? In the end, tens of millions of Americans that helped. That's something totally different. He got it jammed down. I saw President Obama, he was doing town halls all across America. He going to talk. When the last time y'all seen President Trump do a town hall, he wasn't doing it for election. He did it in his first term. President Obama, he was going to town halls all across America, and he was talking to the American people about the importance of health care. Yeah, I got none but Democrats. I don't have to do none of this. I could do it just like President Trump did it. I could just jam it down and don't care what you think. I don't care. President Obama didn't govern like that. That's the difference. I tried to listen. If you go back to my beginning live stream, I was saying it don't matter who doing it. It don't matter who doing it. If your name Donald J. Trump, and if you could swallow your pride and you could swallow your ego, it's February the 1st, it's 2025, and you just did something that has not been done in 150 years of American history. You was president for 4 years elapsed, and you became president again. You have an opportunity at greatness. You gotta swallow your pride. You gotta swallow your ego. You gotta pick up the phone and you gotta call Hakeem. You tell Hakeem and you tell Chuck Schumer to come to the White House. Photo op and everything. Let the American people want to see that. They know that's how the system works. They might not know anything else. They know this how the system works. I want to see that. I want to see you willing to work for the American people. He chose not to do that. He said he didn't need no Democrats. I heard him say that with my own ears. He said we could do this without the Democrats. When I know that's a suicide mission. It's a disaster. If you talking to Democrats, if you had any Democrats around you, I know J.D. Vance ain't no Democrat and he told him not to go to war with Iran. But President, I'm saying you need to hear that other side. You got to hear what they saying. Because if you don't listen to them and you just listening to Fox News, I'm saying you're going to have 74% of the American people standing against you. Because you're going to lose some of the people who voted for you in the first place. If you governing like that, you're going to lose a lot of the people who voted for you in the first place. So you need, listen, Trump derangement syndrome, they trying to assassinate you, dude. These people trying to kill you. Somebody, I don't know who it is, somebody actively got a plot. They trying to get you out the way. They trying to move you out the way. Listen, if that was my son in that situation, if I was looking at it, if President Trump, my son, you know what I'm going to tell my son? You need to attempt to diffuse that situation. You don't need to inflame it. You don't need to stroke it. You need to attempt to diffuse that situation. Dude, they trying to kill you. They try to lock you up, and you know they gonna get power again. And when they get power again, guess what they gonna do? They gonna say, oh, all is forgiven. We don't care about President Trump no more. Nah, they gonna try to impeach you again. They gonna try to lock you up again. Ain't no telling. God knows what they gonna try to do to you. So in February the 1st of 2025, I see all of this down the road. So I do a live stream and I say, pick up the phone and call Hakeem. Don't send Jared Kushner in August of 2026 when you ain't got no choice. And February 1st of 2025, looking at this chessboard, Stephen Miller, you need to advise that man to drop all that nonsense and do his job for the people. Pick up the phone and call Hakeem. You don't want to listen to Ghost. You can't listen to the crazy dude. You can't. What we gonna listen to him for? How much money he got? He can't even spell. Don't listen to me. You ain't gotta listen to nothing I tell you. Now I'm telling you right now, in this situation you in, I don't care what deal you said Oman and Iran done made. I don't care how many times you saying Iran and Oman done opened up the strait. All they trying to do is get President Trump to give them some money, and as soon as they put some money in their pockets, they gonna start firing at them ships or hit. I'm telling you, as long as he president, you gonna have, it's gonna be smoke after smoke after smoke after smoke. So you know what President Trump gonna be doing 12 months from now. He gonna be doing what I'm telling him to do right now, just like the rest of the situations. The only way out of that situation in Iran, you gonna have to kill them terrorists, because they terrorists, not the people, not the Iranian people. Oh, I'm gonna go drop 25,000 bombs and flatten all the buildings. I'ma flatten all the buildings. I'ma flatten all the buildings. But the RGC still alive. You flattening buildings, dude, but the terrorists still shooting at you. You're stupid. That's what I'm trying to help you. This how you, listen, I'ma kill the supreme leader and I'ma leave his son in charge. I'ma kill his daddy and his daughter and leave him in charge. What? I'ma kill him. I'ma kill his daddy. I'ma kill his brothers. I'ma kill every IRGC command. Listen, I'll go to the CIA and I'll say, who working with President Obama in here when President Obama was president? Whoever that is, I need them people to come here real quick, because we finna hunt the IRGC leadership with them Reaper drones or whatever drones you using now. We killing them all. If you trying to make a deal, that's the only way you gonna get any kind of deal in Iran while he's president. While he's president, that's the only deal you get in Iran. Because they'll make a deal over the strait as soon as Iran gets some money and they sucker President Trump down like Kim Jong-un did. So Kim Jong-un suckered you down, President Trump. He suckered you. You think you trying to be your friend and he got a nuclear bomb while you trying to be his friend. That's what Chi gonna do to you. That's what Poon gonna do to you. Them dudes ain't your friend. He a businessman. And he talking about money, he in his realm. If he get into politics, he outside his realm, boss. We could see it clearly. This is not his realm. When it came to COVID, COVID is a different thing than running a business. If you had COVID to hit a business, you don't need no business person making no decision. That's a different kind of leadership. You need to make a decision on COVID. That's governance. It's a difference. I'm sorry you didn't take political science in school. You could get you some education if you get out of Scooby-Doo land. It's a difference, and we see the difference. If he got to make a business decision, he could go secure $21 trillion for America. He'll have the stock market hitting record numbers, all business. You tell him to manage a war, he outside his depth. You tell him to manage COVID, he outside his depth. That's not his depth. He's outside his depth, man. I'm just being real. That ain't got nothing to do with him personally. We voted for him. Y'all voted for him. Y'all voted for him. I had to change that, because on this live stream, I was telling y'all to vote for VP Harris. And I'm going to tell you why I was telling y'all that then. Because here we go again. I'm looking at a map. The first time he was president, it wasn't no war in Israel. The first time he was president, it wasn't a war in Russia. He's saying he could call and end it, but I don't know about his leadership skills like that, because I just seen what he did with COVID. But America was so money hungry, they don't care nothing about that. They just want the money. And they didn't realize ain't no money coming if he can't get past the political things. Because see, this is President Obama. He could navigate these difficult political situations. And due to that, his economy, in the end, his GDP was higher than President Trump's, because President Trump couldn't navigate COVID. So his GDP suffered. President Trump's GDP was at record levels before COVID. COVID came, he couldn't navigate it correctly. Look at it now. Look at his 4-year GDP compared to President Obama's first 4-year GDP. And this a business president. If he can't manage them political situations, ain't nobody getting no money. How? He can't get if the house on fire. Listen, if we got a fire in this business, you got to be able to get the fire out before we could get to the money. He can't get the fire out. He gonna get the whole building gonna get burned down. It ain't got, don't hate on him. I'm not hating on him. He outside his debt. You make it about money, he'll win. He know about money. He know about how to scam whatever con or how, whatever them rich people be doing. He know how to do that. You start talking about a war. What? Napoleon? President Trump gonna be Napoleon. So you trying to tell me we gonna listen to what this dude's saying over what General Payne's saying? What? President Trump, so he got the leadership skills that he's sitting his butt up here and he just calling shots. Like President Trump, a war? A war. It's a different kind of leadership. You gotta know how to delegate. You gonna listen to that general. That general know about fighting this war. You know you don't know nothing about fighting no war. You ain't never served in the military. What you know about a war? He Napoleon all of a sudden. He trying to be like Putin. Putin was in the KGB. Putin got his hands dirty. Putin was that dude. Putin was one of them dudes. You see what I'm saying? President Trump, you ain't never did no gangster stuff like that before. You wasn't in no CIA. You wasn't in the military. You wasn't in the art. You a businessman. You can't try to make him be like Vladimir. Vladimir was in the KGB. Like the first President Bush was in the CIA. President Trump will never be that. You gotta go pay your dues. Go join the CIA first. Go join the military first and then come up here and try to lead us in a war. You don't know what you talking about, man. And listen, hey, listen. If we drop, if they took Air Force One and they dropped Air Force One in Baghdad, and they told President Trump he was in Tel Aviv, he probably wouldn't know the difference. Let's just be real. How many times he been to Tel Aviv in his lifetime? You could count them on 2 hands or 1 hand. How many times he been to Baghdad? One, he is not, listen, General Kane done lived in Baghdad. You understand that, boy? Lived there for years, decades. You understand that? This a warrior, this a soldier. President Obama, get it. Delegate properly. That's a different kind of leadership. In business, one man could do all the job. He can't do the work, but he can make all the decisions. In business. In politics, it's different, man. You gotta let them experts do their job. You remember President Trump, when his first term, he didn't understand that. So they got something that happened. Where was it at? Y'all remember Charleston, South Carolina? Was it Charleston or Charlottesville? And President Trump, he down there in the local. He on the local events. Y'all know what? Y'all heard of Nolan Wells? The president, I thank God he hadn't spoke on that. But in his first term, that's what he was doing. He was getting into local events. Man, you the president. Let them local people handle their own community, idiot. Let the states, let the governor, that's why he the governor, let him handle his own community. That's the problem. He trying to do everything. He want to be he gonna go, President Trump finna go to negotiate with the Mullah regime. To some of that don't sound funny. But if you understand government, if you understand who them people are, that sound real funny to you. That's like President Trump, him pulling up, and let me think of a neighborhood, Bedford-Stuyvesant, and he gonna go sit down with the Crips. President Trump, he's sitting down and negotiating with the Bloods and the Crips. President Trump, with no bodyguards and no money. He's just going in there, he fit President Trump, the art of the deal. Bro, you negotiating with the Bloods and the Crips ain't like negotiating with Elon and Jeff Bezos. You negotiating with Dell and Microsoft ain't like negotiating with no Iranian terrorists, buddy. You ain't equipped to do that. You gotta sit down And you got, no, this is what you need to do, like President Obama did. There's plenty of talented people in America who are equipped to do that. You need to get your big head ego out the way and let them do their job. That ain't no hatred. That's just, it ain't teaching nobody how to govern. If he had the right handlers around him, they'll be explaining it to him. If he don't listen, every time he don't listen, I'm gonna say, you don't wanna listen. Oh, you didn't want to call Hakeem a year and a half ago, but you gotta call him now. Everything I'm telling you to do, you gonna have to do it anyway. You just gonna make a big mess before you get to it. If he gonna want any kind of deal, or if he gonna want to solve this problem in Iran, the only way he gonna do it, he gonna have to finish the job, not by putting boots on the ground, not by dropping 25,000 bombs. He gonna have to do what President Obama did and individually hunt them terrorists. If he don't, unless he don't want no end to it, if he don't want no end to it, it's gonna continue the whole time he in the White House, over and over and over. Over and over and over, over and over and over, over and over and over. If you guys have not liked the video, y'all double tap that screen for me. Double tap that screen. Hey, I give a lot of love to this restaurant, man. I ain't even gonna lie. I be streaming up here every day. But you know what I'm saying? We coming out here on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go inside and stream. I'm gonna show y'all the food. I'm gonna show y'all the menu. I'm gonna show y'all everything. Uno. Up here on the Upper West Side in Manhattan. This restaurant is a Chicago concept, if I'm not mistaken, though. You know what I'm saying? But they got wings, bro. I love wings, so we gonna tear them up, man. You know what I'm saying? That's this Wednesday, y'all, right here. Look. What we need to be saying, if we care, I gotta address this comment. What we need to be saying, if we care, we need to be saying our leaders are on that list. Our leaders are on that list. Our leaders, that's what's more concerning. If you pull President Trump personally, and you say he's on the Epstein list personally, yes he is. But I'm saying a girl, a 15-year-old took him to court and tried to sue him, and she lost her case. You don't have no proof that President Trump did anything to no children. The bigger problem is that there is a list that exists of pedophiles. And the bigger problem is our leaders. That's what I be saying. That's what I say. You might hear me say sometimes, like when I'm trying to make a point about President Trump being on that list, but the bigger problem is our leaders are on that list. It's not just President Trump. If you point at President Trump on the pedophile list, then you got President Clinton on the pedophile list too. That's not political. That's not partisan. You got more Democrats on the pedophile list than Republicans. So I'm saying, but me calling President Clinton a pedophile, you can't do that. You don't have the evidence. You don't have the proof. If you call President Clinton, now I don't care if he on the list or not, he'll sue the snot out of you. That's slander and defamation. If you say he on the list, he on the list. But you trying to say that he is actually what you saying, that you can't, you ain't got, they sue. Listen, the 15-year-old girl sued President Trump. She wasn't 15, she was 15 at the time. She said she sued him. Eugene Carroll sued him. Eugene Carroll, he had to pay. The 15-year-old, the case got dismissed 2 times. So I'm not focusing on you saying that he's something. Look, what you accusing him of happened 30 years ago, and you ain't got no proof he did it. If we could choose a different person, we would point at VP Harris, but America said that's not what they want. So this is where they went. So he the president. What can you say? You ain't got, if you ain't got no proof that he touched a child, if you saying that, that's what Stephen Miller need to be doing. He need to be suing you for defamation. Because in order for you call a man a pedophile, you gotta have proof. You could say his name on the pedophile list. You don't need proof for that. His name all over the list. You could say that he shouldn't be on the list. You could say America, but you saying individually that those men or that they, which one of them been convicted? Bill Clinton ain't never got. That girl you see him on in that picture in that pool, that girl could be 23 years old, like Monica Lewinsky. She could be 21. President Trump could say, hey, we want to play with some college girls. Bring me some 22-year-olds. Jeffrey Epstein was messing with 22-year-olds too. You might not know that, but it was a bunch of college girls he messed with. We looking for the children. Who touching the children? That's what we talking about, the children. You can't prove that. None of them dudes touch no children. If you could, show us the proof, we gonna put them in jail. We gonna snatch them wherever they at, however old they are. They could be 80 in the highest perk. If you got the proof that they touched a child, we gonna snatch them wherever they at. If we can't get to them, we gonna get to them one way or another. The hard way or the easy way. Cause that's something different. But if you can't prove that they touch no children, like, yeah, should his name be on the list? No, the greater problem is that our leader's name is on the list. That's the problem. You could get into the politics, but I don't do politics. The problem is that our leader's name is on the list for all the people in the Me Too stuff, and let Congress do their job. Whoever do their job, do their job. I'm saying you can't dwell on something, calling somebody something that you can't prove. You can't prove it. You got to be able to prove some of this. If you can't prove it, what can we say? Crazy as I don't know what, bro. Every Democratic state, let's name the Democratic states that you said broke. You said Democratic states broke. California broke. What Democratic state broke? New York broke. I'm saying, I'm trying to figure which Massachusetts broke. He said Democratic states are broke, so you mean Connecticut is broke. Oh, nah, hold on a second. He talking about Oregon, or he talking about Washington State. Because, see, he don't know the economies of these states I'm calling, but I know the economies. I know the GDP, no, excuse me, not GDP for Connecticut. I know the per capita income of a citizen living in the state of Connecticut. But you said they broke. I know the per capita income of a citizen living in Massachusetts, but you said they broke, though. All the blue states, but people in Mississippi, they not broke, though, right? With your poverty line at $17,000, you not broke. Your poverty level at $17,000 in Mississippi, that's not broke. But your poverty line in New York City probably around 40 or 50,000, but they broke, though. Your poverty level in Los Angeles, but they broke, though. They broke. You got 120 billionaires in New York City, but they broke. You got more billionaires in this city than any city in the world, but the blue states and the blue cities are broke. Where Mark Zuckerberg live at? He live in a red state, don't he? The only reason why Elon in Texas, because California, that's the only reason, but he was in Cali, bro. That's where they at. They in the blue states. The money, the wealth in the blue states. What we talking about? Let's get real, man. Y'all gotta stop drinking. You hear me? Y'all gotta stop drinking that Kool-Aid, man. That Kool-Aid poison, bruh. I listen to them Republicans lie to you all you want to. Hey, guess what president spent more money than any other president in U.S. history? I just want y'all to answer that for me. What president spent more money than any other president in U.S. history? It's a pop quiz. It's trivia time. Who want to play trivia? He a Republican or a Democrat? The president, no. Joe Biden only spent $7 trillion, homeboy. Joe Biden, in 4 years, in 4 years he spent $7 trillion. Unfortunately, President Trump spent $8 trillion in 4 years. So Joe Biden spent less money than Barack Obama in his 8 years. Yeah, in 4 years. See, Obama spent $8 trillion. Obama spent $8 trillion in 8 years. He has spent more money than any other president. Though Democrats giveaways. Then come President Trump. And President Trump spent that same 8 trillion in 4 years. In 4 years. While the Democrats are giving money away, they spending less money than the Republicans. President Trump just spent $10 trillion and he ain't been president for 6 years. Our deficit is 40 trillion. President Trump done spent 10 trillion. He done added a quarter of the money amount. He ain't finished yet. By the time President Trump leave the White House, he gonna spend $15 trillion. By the time President Trump leave the White House, he gonna spend more than President Biden and President Obama put together in 12 years. But the Democrats giving money away though. They giving money away, but they spending less money than you. But they giving it away. But they spending less money than you. Gotta make this make sense. You know I'm kind of slow. You know I can't spell. You know I'm kind of slow. You smarter than me. I'm trying to make it make sense. Help me make it make sense. How in the world this man is giving money away, but you are more conservative? Get it? Conservative with your money, but you spending more money than the man giving stuff away. He giving it to the American people. See, you duping the American people. They duping the American people. The Republicans giving money away too. It's just not to the people. They giving it to some people. It's just not the yeah, them billionaires. It's fraud, just like weapons of mass destruction. What's the party always lying to us? What party always lying to you? I'm gonna take y'all all the way back. Y'all remember that first George Bush, no new Texas? What party always lying to the American people? His son come, and then his son's General Colin Powell said they got weapons of mass. Always lying to the American people. Fraud, waste, and abuse. We finna cut fraud, waste, and abuse and spend more money than the Democrats in the process. It's a farce. It's a farce, man. I'm gonna give a tax break to a rich man because he create what? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard of in my life. In the meantime, the Republican Party been duping the American people. You duping us. They've been duping us. They've been duping us. Hey, somebody said I'm mad I'm not in the the gravy train. Where the gravy train at? I'm finna get on the gravy train. Listen, I need to do a whole stream about this, okay? If I'm a Republican and I walk in a room and it's $100 in the room and one man got $90 and the other 9 people fighting over $10, right? And I walk into the room. So what am I finna do? My first move. I'm finna take money from the 9 people with the $10 and I'm gonna give it to the one man with the $90 because he created all the wealth. And what you end up doing is you have in Mississippi, in Alabama, in Louisiana, you have a bunch of poor people still sitting by the sidelines. Listen, as many poor people in Mississippi, they can never get off the ground. You got too many poor people. You can't get up. Mississippi economy gonna be ranked in the bottom 50 forever until they change their mentality. You cannot get up. You got 2 billionaires in the whole state. You got a class of rich people and a whole bunch of poor people. And what a Republican mentality is, we not gonna help the poor. That's why Mississippi has been the poor state, Alabama, West Virginia, all them Republican states forever. Because you cannot get up because you got too many poor people, they slow. This how they do it in New York City. This what they gonna do. You see the poor people, New York, they gonna clean them poor people off their streets, the ground. When you pick the poor people up, you picking the whole system up, you idiot. If you take out all the poor, you ain't got no poor people, then guess what? Everybody got richer. The money is in the ecosystem. They not smart enough to get it. You don't want to help the poor. If you don't want to help the middle class, your state gonna stay poor. You go get your economics major. I study political science. If you don't want to help the middle class, your state gonna stay poor. The rich people in Mississippi gonna stay rich. The Republicans helping them. It's a few. And the majority of the state on the ground. Policies ain't gonna pick nobody up off the ground. They gonna stay there. It's only a couple of stragglers that'll get access to the American dream. But the vast majority of the people remain poor. See, when you get a Democrat or in a blue state, they just have a different mentality. I'm not gonna work my economy from the top down. I'm gonna start from the bottom in the middle. You think, listen, VP Harris policy just helping poor people, food stamp voters, right? I'm gonna give you a $25,000 tax credit to buy a house. What poor person you know, real poor person? What homeless person? That's helping the middle class. That's helping the working class. It's the working class who is trying to buy houses. And if you get, that's helping, so it's not just helping the poor, it's not helping the bottom. I'm gonna start in the middle. I'm gonna build an economy from here. It's a difference. Listen, on social issues, the Republicans right. On economic issues, the Democrats right. On social issues, the Republicans right. On economic issues, the Democrats right. You get it? You want to keep doing it? On social issues, the Republican right. You're not going to tell me it's okay that my 4-year-old little boy come to me and say, hey, daddy, I want to be a little girl. You know what I'm going to do? Where I'm from in Mississippi, I'm going to slap the blackout of him. That's what I'm going to do. Every little child goes through a stage where a little boy, he see the girls, he don't understand. So he want to play with the Barbie dolls. Every child does that, man. What's wrong with y'all? So they picking on my boy at school and he come home and say, daddy, I want to be a little girl. No, you don't, Junior. Little boys, we don't play with the girl dolls. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to go up to this school and I'm going to go find the teachers. And I'm going to tell you one time, if my baby come home crying again, I'm telling you, I'm going to take the drawers off of every last one of y'all in this building. A 4-year-old can't make a lifelong decision and say he want to change his sex to be a little girl. That's craziness. America never, I don't see that. It's gonna take 30 years. Look, America still don't believe in two men getting married. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Why AOC ain't married to a woman then? Why the mayor ain't married to a man? Why President Obama didn't marry a man? All these people support gay marriage. Ain't none of them married to a gay person. That tell me everything I need to know. And we could talk about abortion too. On social issues, they got y'all. But on economic issues, the Republicans are so far off base. And if we talking economics, I can't go side with you because you against gay marriage. You against gay marriage, but you gonna burn 500 tons of food that would have fed starving kids. These ain't Democrats. President Trump must have thought that the food, them 500 tons of USAID food was gonna feed Democrats. You gonna go burn 500 tons of food. You understand that? You got to keep it balanced. We got to stay balanced with it, man. I don't care what Epstein was. It's irrelevant to me. I don't care what he was. Yeah, he worked for some kind of intelligence somewhere. He had some kind of privilege. I don't care what he was, though. To me, it's immaterial. Look, the party don't matter. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, I don't care what you are. The problem for us as Americans is our leaders is on the pedophile list. That's Bill Clinton and Donald Trump and more people. That ain't just in America, Prince Andrew too. That's the problem, is that you allow a list to happen where our leaders is on it. We don't care what politician is on it. If you come with the proof that he touched a child or he molested a child, you ain't got no proof. We see some young girls sitting in his lap. You can't identify who those girls was and how old they were at that time. And then if you could, you still don't know that he did something with them, is what I'm saying. So I'm saying you're going to keep spinning circles. I'm saying, listen, American people, they care about child molestation. But I'm saying if you can't, they done heard you talk about this with President Trump for the last 2 years, and I'm saying we at election time, and we looking at our gas prices, and and y'all Democrats talking about everything that he gave y'all the board. Just stick on what matters. If you a Democrat, all you got to talk about is inflation, gas, and affordable housing, and you'll win. I'm saying they know it in New York City. Look at Zoran. Hey, you can say whatever you want to. Zoran got 70% approval from his constituents. And President Trump, he got about 35% approval. President Trump's approval rating is half of what Zoran's is. Half of it. So it don't matter how I feel. It don't matter how your mama feel. It matters about how the people who elected him in this city feel. And 7 out of 10 of them are happy with the job he doing. So for the other 3 out of 10, I mean, I'm sorry, it do matter how you feel, but it kind of don't. In America, it's about the majority. And if he getting 7 out of 10 people who like what he doing, he gonna get reelected. And if he still got 7 out of 10, he could be a governor. And if he still got 7 out of 10, he could be a senator. And that's how that works. That's politics. That's politics, baby. You got to please the people. Don't please yourself. Don't please your pockets. Don't please your party. You got to please the people. Well, this ain't no John F. Kennedy America. We're not trying to ask what we could do for our country. In America, we don't want our country to have politicians making $2 billion while we ain't getting nothing out of it. We want something too. That's all we say. It's a different America. You gotta know where the American people are. It don't matter how we feel, it's the collective majority. That's what matters. How I feel individually is immaterial. It's the collective majority. That's where the power is. The power ain't in no one politician. It's in the collective majority. The collective majority might have more power than the Constitution. Because at will, the collective majority could write a new Constitution. The power in America is in the majority. It's not in the Republican Party. It's not in the president's, the office of the presidency. It's not in the Democratic Party. It's in the Constitution. But what holds it in power is the collective majority. You got to get the majority. Without the majority, I'm saying you don't have nothing. You have to have the majority of the people. Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. You got to understand something. You got the government and you got the people. The government getting money is different than the people getting money. You see, China, they got their GDP is number 2 behind America, but their people are a lot more poor than number. So understand that. Listen. Democratic states could. Okay, this is what I said. If y'all don't know, I own a business. I write legal documents, okay? I protect the rights of people with disability. A democratic state might not be business friendly, but we don't care, especially in New York. This is what I'm saying. So, if I did a story on this earlier on my Instagram. Y'all follow my Instagram. The link's in the bio on the landing page. If you go to work tomorrow, say you're a black person. You go to work tomorrow, and your boss and 2 other of his assistants, 3 bosses, they call you in the office. And you go in the office, and they start calling you the N-word. And they start calling you racial slurs. Who you gonna call? You gonna call the NYPD? NYPD gonna show up. They gonna tell you they can't do nothing for you. That's civil. You see what I'm saying? There ain't nobody to enforce that civil law. You understand that? If you take your grandmama to the grocery store, and she in a wheelchair and she can't access the grocery store, well, she's supposed to have equal access to everything. But see, no one can. You can't call NYPD and say they can't enforce that. We don't have civil law enforcement. Listen, first violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act, 75,000, right? When I was in Texas, this is what was finna happen. I'm finna go, ameliorate legal, we finna go, and we finna start writing. Let me do it. I got all the qualifications to do it. I beat a federal judge in the argument, bro, in court. I got the qualification. Look, I'm gonna go in your business, I'ma see that you ain't got that handicap thing, and then I immediately you gonna get the fine on the spot. I believe in finding businesses if they listen, you talk about your business wouldn't be nothing without their workers. So you got workers, it's no way in the world I'ma let you discriminate against your workers. Boy, I'll shut your business down. You don't need a business. If you don't know how to treat your workers, you don't need no business. Screw your business. You said democratic states ain't business friendly, screw your business. Well, we supposed to let you make trillions of dollars while you got managers at your job calling employees the N-word and you not firing them. So we gonna let you make, we screw your business. If you gotta treat your employees right, that's number one. These are citizens of our state. You know what, a Democrat, you know the number one thing that we talking about is the people. We gonna ride with the people. We gonna protect the people. Screw your business. Listen, if Elon took his money and moved to China, somebody gonna fill his spot. What I said wrong? I love Elon dirty draws. But somebody gonna fill his spot. If you got a billionaire move out of New York City because they don't want to pay the taxes, guess what? Somebody gonna come fill his spot. Good riddance, get on. I'm not like, see that he might be trying to keep them billionaires in this city. I'm gonna put the wrangle on you, boy. You need to pay your fair share of taxes. Y'all rich people don't need to do. Look, every rich man to get rich, I'm gonna tell you what he finna do. If you go in a room full of poor people, I'm gonna give you a magnifying glass, and you go in a room full of poor people and find me some corruption. Look, how many poor people on the Epstein list? How many poor people on the Epstein list? Go in a room full of poor people and find me some corruption. All the corruption is with the money and with the rich people, right or wrong. Yeah, we got so I'm on businesses. I'm on the rich people and I'm on the business. Oh, Jeff Bezos, what you doing? Bro, listen, you got in some states they paying their workers $7 an hour. In my opinion, that's blasphemy. In my opinion, if you pay one worker, look, I know I'm a legal person. I understand how this works. I'm just speaking all facts. I'm not hating. I'm just speaking facts. You go into a Dollar General, you'll have one worker making $8 an hour with a line across the building doing 4 people job. Not only that, one worker making $8 an hour. In a lot of these businesses, they shaving wages, they cutting hours, they paying the worker $8 an hour and then cutting 2 hours off his paycheck. And you want me to take up for the business? Nah, I'm not business friendly either. I'll sue the snot out your business. Treat your workers right. Listen, we got laws that them business owners have to follow. And if they don't want to follow the law and try to make a dollar and not follow the law, that's what I come in at. Yeah, the state of New York, we gonna fine you $75,000. That's your first violation of American with Disabilities Act. If I gotta come back again, it's $150,000. Bro, I walk into the building, listen, I could walk inside a business and look in that business and tell that they not compliant. I look, within 30 minutes of talking to everybody in that business, I could tell if they compliant or not compliant with state and federal law. Facts. What we talking about? I'm talking about Governor Abbott, Governor Hochul, Mayor Mondami. I'm saying, like, he don't be no business friendly. And look, he business friendly by not charging the business no taxes in the state of Texas. Texas don't gotta pay no taxes as a business. Because we let you not pay taxes don't mean you could discriminate against people, dude. Yeah, we gonna fine you $150,000. Let me catch you discriminating on a black person. That's $150,000. Let me catch you discriminating on someone disabled. That's $150,000. Let me at your business sexually harassing. That's $100. I'll come in there, bro. They know me too. I'ma drop it on them. I'll drop it on you in a heartbeat. with no remorse. Don't give me no power like the state behind me. I'm telling you, look, if I were at the state of Texas, listen, Governor Abbott would be a $1 billion enterprise. Because I find every business, you cannot make money without treating your employees right. We cannot be free in America without treating the people who fight for our freedom right. Bro, it's a certain way that you do this to be successful. Your state will always be poor if they don't want to get people up off the ground. In Mississippi, they don't believe in picking up people off the ground. They don't believe that. That's why they one of the poorest states. In New York, they'll pick anybody up off the ground. And that's why this city is the richest city. It's common sense. It's easy mathematics. If you don't want to help the poor, God gonna spit on you. God gonna spit on you. Jesus gonna spit on you. I don't care, you think you a Republican. Jesus gonna spit on you. What was Jesus' ministry was about helping the poor. Them Democrats, they good with that, bruh. The Democrats, oh, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. No, you good. I'm sorry. The Democrats good with that, bro. They believe in helping the poor. I'm telling you, I'm in this city. Listen, if somebody, a fentanyl smoker, they smoking fentanyl and they beating the system, listen, you gonna get some crackheads in the system, bro. But you gonna get some people who in the system who ain't supposed to be in the system. They much better than the system. Like Walt Disney used to be homeless. You feel that? Like 50 Cent, he used to be homeless. You want me to start naming them? You want me to start naming all the people who were homeless? And if they was in New York, and they in New York picked them up in the system, and this dude go on to create Disney World and Disneyland, Walt Disney. Look what he created. Because that human potential, we realize that human potential is the greatest way. President Trump spending all that time trying to get that oil out the ground. That's not the greatest resource in the world. It's not oil. The greatest resource in the world is not gold. You just don't get it. The greatest resource in the world, the greatest waste of resource is human potential. It's the potential of each and every human being, and we're not pulling it out of them. That's the greatest waste. It's the human potential. That's what I'm saying. Listen, the Republicans, they don't know how to help people. Concepts of a plan on a healthcare plan. We've been waiting on the Republicans. They've been trying to get rid of Obamacare forever. They rather let insurance just get higher and get mollywopped in the election because they ain't got no solution. That's the problem. I'm from Mississippi, bro, back at home. We see a 5-year-old. He start asking his mama for too much money. You know what his mama gonna tell him? Boy, you better go down there and get a job, boy. Yeah. I know y'all from the South, y'all heard somebody tell a little kid that. Yeah, they do that all the time in the South. They might do it up here, yeah, I hadn't heard it up here, but I know in the South. You feel me? You have somebody who got a disability, he got a money problem. You know what a Republican gonna tell him? I don't care if he ain't got no legs. I don't care if he got a brain, he ain't got a brain. The only solution a Republican got for you is go to work. The Democrats, they more complicated, they're more complex. They'll roll up their sleeves and they'll try. It's because Republicans don't believe in science. That's the problem. You don't believe in science. I don't know how much help for you if you don't believe in science. You gotta believe in science. You see what I'm saying? You gotta want to help people, man. If you don't want to help people, you will have 2 billionaires in the state of Mississippi, over 3 million people. They got 2 billionaires. They got a few millionaires, and they got a bunch of poor people. And they've been poor, I'm talking about since I was born. I was 5 years old, sitting in the government class, and we seen the poorest states, and I seen my state was number 50. I was so embarrassed. You see what I'm saying? When I got 10 years old, I think the highest Mississippi got was like number 46 or 47. Poor state. Teen obesity, child pregnancies. I'm talking about diabetes, health conditions. You don't want to pick nobody up off the ground. You gonna stay there. Mississippi, you gonna stay there. Cause you gotta pick people. It's not Mississippi, it's all the Republican state. Alabama, that's the armpit of America. Then we talking about the armpits. Florida different. Florida got a lot of foreigners in Florida. A whole lot of foreigners. Florida's probably a majority minority state. They probably got more foreigners than white people in Florida. They just different. Texas, Governor Abbott, he different than that governor in Mississippi. He different. In Texas, they help people. He got the money to help them, though. He got a surplus in his economy. But I'm saying, if you got the mentality that we not gonna never help nobody, these are the people who gonna make you rich. I'm a billionaire. I'm looking down. Shoot, I'm finna go pick up all these people I pick up off the seat. They ain't never been poor before, a lot of them. So they don't understand what this means. They don't understand what it means when I pick this dude up off the ground. He owe me something now. That's real power. See, the smart Republicans, they know that. They say that the Democrats with the handouts, that's the power. That's where the power at. That's how you never lose an election. Listen, it ain't about giving him no handout. I want to do what you do as a Republican. He come to me, say he hungry. You give him a fish. Tomorrow he hungry, he gonna come again asking for the fish. I'ma go get a fishing pole and I'ma teach him how to fish. So tomorrow he don't ask me for no fish. But I'm saying, if he do come and ask me for some fish tomorrow, what you gonna do? You know what the Republicans gonna do? They're gonna let him starve. You know what Mandami gonna do? He gonna feed him again tomorrow. That's the difference. What you saying fundamentally is right. Fundamentally, the Republican thesis is right. Fundamentally, it's right. Fundamentally, it's right. But it doesn't work in actual practice. It doesn't work in actual practice. Fundamentally, everybody need to go get their own fundamentally. But you cannot leave people, bro, you go to New Orleans, and I'm talking about you just got homeless. It's just homeless people. You can't leave them on the street. You got to get these people up off the street. You got to pick these people up off your street, man. You have to do that. You have to. We got to change a lot of things, man, in America, our way of thinking, man. That's Republican, that's Democrat, that's independent. And we gonna find out what it is, man, this November. Because we less than 70 days away. We talked about James Talerico in Texas, all across America, Senate seats. We could talk about Iowa. The Democrats looking good in Iowa. The Democrats looking good in Maine in the Senate seats. The Democrats looking good in Ohio, Senate race. Democrats looking good, man. Real good. I'm talking in the House of Representatives. I'm thinking between 20 and 40 seats. I'm thinking in the Senate, they gonna tie it up or they gonna take a 1 or 2 seat majority. El Sahi, he look like he holding up. He hold up, they got a chance to run the board. They got a chance to run the board. Before I go, somebody said President Trump is a scumbag. I don't subscribe to that language. I don't subscribe to that language. This ain't got nothing to do with him personally. This ain't personal with me. It's personal with y'all. With me, it's not personal. It's not partisan. It's about job performance. If I went to Trump Towers, Trump International right up the street, and they hired me for a job, and I had been working for them for 19 months, it shouldn't be because I got a disability. It shouldn't be because I'm black. It shouldn't be, it should be about your job performance. That's all it should be about. Your personal feelings about him, that's your personal feelings. I don't have no personal feelings about him. I don't. No personal feelings. It's not personal for me. I never met President Trump in my life. I'm never gonna meet him. Why would it be personal? It's personal if it's personal. It's not personal, it's not about me. Ain't nothing he doing or saying I feel like is about me. Why should I take it personal? It's not personal. So you saying him a scumbag, you taking that personal. We have a problem with that too in America. That's how we get political violence. Don't take it personal. It's not personal. With you, it might be personal. It's not personal with me. It's just what it is. It's truth. It's truth. I'm saying if a man know we got a housing shortage, within your first year in office, you should be doing something about affordable housing. That's what Zoran doing. It's not personal. I'm saying, hey, I look at a news story and President Trump on TV, and he's trying to look like Napoleon on Fox News behind the Iranian flag. And I flip down the channel on Fox News, and they hating on Zoran because he built 250,000 affordable houses for New York. It's not personal, dude. What's personal about that? This one right here got a 70% approval rating, and this one got a 35. This one enriching himself and enriching business, and this one focused on the people. This 34-year-old mayor gonna go get in a line and protest with his constituents. When you see President Trump do something like that, you know how much money President Trump made off of New Yorkers or the back of New Yorkers? I know he ain't never been no mayor. He don't have that kind of mentality Zoran have. Zoran, a people power dude, that's Barack Obama 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. That's all that is. I'm talking about super popular with the people. That's Barack Obama number 2. That's all that is. Who next? Get another one. Get another one. AOC, she go to Los Angeles. She have 40,000 people out there show up to hear her speak. 40,000. JD Vance go to Los Angeles. He might get 500 people. He might get 1,000 people to show up, depending on where he go. AOC, she go to Los Angeles. It'll be 40,000 people out there like Taylor Swift out there or something. Why you think that is? This one, all she talk about is Medicare, Medicaid, poor person, immigration, the people, the people, the people, the people. She gonna take the people's side. This one over here, he on the government side. This one over here, he on everything else side but the people's side. The person, the politician who's standing up with the people. It ain't gotta be. Listen, President Trump standing with the people too. It's just he's standing with the wrong crowd. He's standing with 900 billionaires. America got 340 million people in it. We tell him, look, we tell President and Zoran, both of them, they in the room, we got both of them, hey, y'all go stand with the people. President Trump comes stand over here with 900 billionaires. You got a nation of 340 million people, and you over here with 900 people. That's powerful, though. Because them billionaires got money and influence. They could confuse a lot of little idiots around here to support them. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying Zoran, what Zoran do? Zoran come over here and he spit on them 120 billionaires in New York. Spit on them. It's just 120 people, dude. We don't care about their money. Y'all Republicans confused. It's about the majority of the people. This is politics. How you win an election, Dodo Bird? You could spell, but you just not that smart. It's about the majority. So I'm saying Zoran is gonna, there's more poor people than there is billionaires. Do we need a political science class? You need a class? It's about numbers. You got 225 million Americans don't make $100,000 a year. 225 million Americans do not make $100,000 a year. You only 340, that's the vast majority. It's not the majority, it's the vast majority. So Zoran just smarter than you. You know what he do? President Trump, he hugging the billionaires. Zoran spit on the billionaires and he go camp out with the people. So cause he over here with them, they ask him a job approval, he got 70%. He over here with them. He look like he one of them. President Trump, it ain't nothing personal. You think it's personal. What's personal about this? President Trump, He hugging the billionaires. So when they ask the people, he got the billionaires' influence. The billionaires' influence can't reach more than the poor people. When the poor people pockets start hurting, billionaire influence is good as long as their pockets ain't hurting. Now their pockets hurting. So they gonna vote with their pockets. They don't care what no billionaire talking about. I'm talking about the majority. And so this is why you got a 35% approval rate. Because you over here with the less amount of people. It's less millionaires, you idiot. It's less billionaires, you idiot, than poor people. So you want to chill with the rich people. So it's less of them. That's 35% approval. Mandami want to chill with the poor people and the regular people. It's more of them. That's 70% approval. But you smarter than me. Day one, political science, y'all. We learned that on day one. Day one. Guys, that's 2 hours and 56 minutes. Cooking, getting it in, putting in work. 2 hours and 56 minutes. If you guys have not liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. And if y'all have not hit that notification bell, go ahead and do that for me. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, you crazy as I don't know what. I don't know what Jeff Bezos paid, but I know Elon paid taxes. Elon paid more than his fair share of taxes. Not only do Elon pay more than his fair share of taxes, I was in Texas. I was involved in a situation, and I witnessed, well, I'm talking about anybody could have witnessed it. Anybody could have known it. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could have seen it. But Elon, he paid, he gave like $5 million, or excuse me, I think it was $5 billion, if I'm not mistaken, in Tesla shares. He donated $5 billion in Tesla shares. I'm going to say it one more time, because you're talking about paying taxes. Elon is not President Trump, and I'm not hating on President Trump. I'm just being real with you now. He not. I'm talking about, if I'm not mistaken, if somebody had told me this the year Elon, if I'm not mistaken, paid $11 billion in taxes. 11 billion with a B in taxes. That's a lot less than probably what I think he should pay. But he paid 11 billion in taxes. And that year, I'm almost positive, he donated 5 billion in Tesla shares. 5 billion to the poor. 5 billion with a B to the poor. So, nah, we're not going to talk about Elon, not on this live stream. Jeff Bezos, I don't know nothing about him. I don't know nothing. I never worked for him. I never researched him. I never sued him. I never had any reason to know anything about Jeff Bezos. I don't like billionaires, so I'm not going to try to study and learn billionaires or know anything about them. I don't know nothing about them. I know about Elon because I work for Tesla, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just being real about that. Hey, who's a white supremacist? Hey, Diane, you said white, who white supremacist? Ain't no white supremacist around here. Who's a white supremacist? Ain't no white supremacist around here, dude. Like, I know you ain't talking about Elon. I know you ain't talking about Elon. I know for a fact you ain't saying that about Elon. We had problems. There was problems at Tesla in California. Them problems got worked out. So we ain't talking about, Elon is not no white supremacist. Elon's not a racist at all. I don't believe Elon a racist at all. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Elon is from South Africa. Okay? He's an immigrant. So you come to America, he's not, you got racial relations and problems in South Africa, but those South Africa problems are not the problems that's in the United States. So he just had to learn and get the American system. That's all it is. Once he got the American system, he golden. Elon's not a white supremacist. I don't believe that. I mean, you guys could say that. I don't believe it though. Fun in the Sun said, I love New York. Yeah, I love New York too, man. It's a great, big, beautiful city. Y'all see it. I show it to y'all all the time. 3 hours we've been streaming. That's due to my boy WTF. 5 channel memberships gifted today. thank y'all to WTF for gifting 5 channel memberships to the channel. So guys, remember, so I'm doing a new episode. It's called Eating and Living New York. We're starting on Wednesday. We're going to go to restaurants. We're going to go to museums. I'm going to take you to a Yankees game, probably go to a football game, maybe a Giants or a Jets game. You know what I'm saying? While we up here in New York, just take a round, let y'all see the city. Those donations, like I said, my boy donated to the channel today. Those donations is going to Bank of America. I'm not touching them. When the time comes for us to expand the channel or do everything we have to do, every last one of y'all donations are in a bank account and it's still there, okay? So y'all keep on supporting the channel. I appreciate you, Hannibal. I appreciate WTF. Thank y'all for the donations. All of you guys that's participating in the live stream, I appreciate you guys greatly. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. WTF, I want to welcome, is that Andrea, Nico, Hannibal? Look, Hannibal is a channel member now. I'm glad that happened. Hannibal, is that Kayla and Jerry? I want to welcome 5 new channel members to Legal Wars Live. WTF, man, coming through, participating, showing support. I appreciate it. I love y'all. I come on the live stream, I say the same thing every single time. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. That being said, bro, Christ is King. I'm a Christian. You guys, most of y'all already know that. I believe Jesus suffered, bled, and died on the cross for our sins. I believe the blood that Jesus shed on the cross is payment for our sins, and that's our salvation. That's how we're saved. You know what I'm saying? I live my life as a Christian. I really believe, man. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in standing with the people, man. Between James Talerico and Ken Paxton, I just believe that James Talerico is for the people. So, you know what I'm saying? If I was in Texas and I had to vote, he would have my vote. That being said, y'all, that's my time. I'm out, man. I love y'all. The rent in New York is crazy. It is crazy. That's why Mayor Mondami is building over 200,000 affordable houses. That's why the city of New York give out vouchers to people like myself who are on, listen, why can't Mississippi or Alabama or Louisiana have a program where they could give out vouchers funding the sun to people who need the help? I'm saying the Democrats spending all this money that y'all said they're spending. And while they're spending all this money, they're helping so many people. It's not adding up. It's not making sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, to me, it makes more sense that they're spending this money because they're spending this money and they're helping the people. And meanwhile, they're creating wealth. There's way more billionaires and millionaires in these democratic cities. That's my time, man. Look, tomorrow, man, we're going to be live tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Nancy Guthrie. I was supposed to do that mystery last week. We're going to do it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? That's Guilty or Innocent, episode 6, the mystery of Nancy Guthrie. Y'all, I love y'all. That's 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. I hope to see every last one of y'all in the live stream. Until then, y'all be good. Y'all be safe. And remember, Christ is King, man. I'm out. See you in the morning.